What's up, motherfuckers? And we just
What's
got
up?
demonetized.
Already. Actually, no. Actually, for that matter, you, good sir, are demonetized now. How's that?
That was the dumbest shit I've ever heard you say.
Well, I'm sorry. I played that for comedic effect. And
You,
laughed.
good sir, are demonetized.
And plus, you laughed, and you can admit it. Plus, it's on camera.
Yup.
So
Yep, I can admit that.
you did laugh.
Yep. Because it was stupid as shit, but yep.
All right, now let's continue.
Okay. Anyways, if my mouse wants to work. Welcome, ladies and gents. Today, I got Luke and the Pookie himself, Cam.
Oh yeah, you know it.
Yep. And we are here today to discuss this weekend's brand new movies, If, and the other one that we, yeah.
Eesh.
Mm-hmm. Cam, how would you like to introduce the other movie? Because you liked it for some reason.
The Strangers Chapter 1. And I want to just say I liked it. I thought it was great. I'm not even lying. It is my favorite horror movie of the year.
I'm kidding.
And all I say about the other one is that If was not it.
I can't. This is my reaction to that.
You don't have a heart.
I do. It just belongs with fucking serial killers.
Oh yeah.
Oh, God.
Oh,
That better not be taken out of context. Swear to God.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, fucking bother indeed.
Oh God.
No one clip that. No one clip that.
Do it.
Oh, fucking bother. How's that for you?
Yeah. His heart goes out to Jeffrey Dahmer. Rest in peace.
Personally, I go with Bundy more.
Bundy. Oh
Shit! I thought you weren't coming, bro.
Yo, bro.
Hey, buddy.
No, I needed someone to have my back tonight. Okay.
And he apparently stepped down.
I think
Hey,
I missed
buddy.
the entire conversation. My entire thing just crashed, but I'm back here now. It's
You
working
missed
now.
nothing. You missed nothing.
Yeah. We were just getting
Brother.
ready to talk about shit. I mean, If. My bad.
I didn't hate it. I thought I guess I'll say quickly. It was I didn't care. It was one of those where I was
That's
like,
fair.
it's fine. I left the theater.
So now we're just gonna go 2 versus 2 on both of these. We're going
Exactly.
2 versus
guess
2.
so.
Top
This is
versus
like
bottom.
fucking-
It's already divvied up.
Yep. Top.
If
Yeah,
it was
we're
just
already
one-
divided, like
Yep.
top versus bottom here.
Mhm.
Yep.
If was one of those
Like, this
movies
is
where
really cool.
I went to the theater, I watched it within that an hour, I forgot about the movie, and I was like, oh wait, I got to record my review for this movie. It
I
was
don't
totally,
agree, but fair on your
it-
point. Fair on
it
your
was totally forgettable. I didn't really care about it. It was just one of those movies I was like, in one ear, out the other. I'll move on to the next thing. So,
Yeah. I feel like this
I
is
mean, fair on,
really
I'll just say fair on your end there, buddy.
Mhm.
Just
and today fixed it perfectly fine. I watched the Mario movie, which I actually didn't like this time around. Gave it a 2 out of 5 on the rewatch today.
Crucifixion.
That is a combo for another time.
And then I watched Challengers again, and I still fucking love that movie. So
And I hit the snooze
Again, I
button
saw
on that.
Challengers, but on
Gay
Mario there, buddy.
Gay
Yeah, but on
chilies
Mario
and
there, buddy.
Mario.
Crucifixion.
I don't know why I didn't like it this time around, but it was a 2 out of 5 for me this time. It went from a
Gay-
4 out of 5 to a 3.5 out of 5 to a 2 out of 5, so it's all over the place now.
I was watching this Pookie again.
Oh hell yeah!
His name's
Mario's
Gambit.
still
Remember it. Mike
Even
and Gab
after,
are gonna get that.
For me, even after 8 times, Mario's still a 5 for me.
That's great. I don't know why there was something about
Mario's just
Anya
my
Taylor.
thing here. Like that's just me. That's just a Luke thing.
Yeah, I mean Anya Taylor. Something about Anya Taylor-Joy's performance this watch. I don't know what happened. It just kind of pissed me off this time. I was like,
You know
she's
what?
not good.
That exact same thing happened to me with the character of Cranky Kong. For some reason,
was-
on every rewatch. He's
he
so
pissed me
fucking
off.
annoying. He's so
I was like,
fucking
oh my
annoying.
god, he was awful. Seth Rogen. I don't know what pretty much switched. I don't think Chris Pratt and I think Jack Black does the best in that movie. But like Chris Pratt, Charlie Day, whatever, they were fine. They were passable. But something about Seth Rogen, and this is like on the second watch and now the third watch of the movie. I was just like, shut up, stop talking.
And
You
then
guys
that's
want to know
right.
what? You guys want to know what I give 5 out of 5?
Oh,
God damn it.
fuck off.
Fuck that shit.
Okay.
I am an unapologetic lover of She-Hulk. That
I don't
shit
like
is my
it.
that shit is my jam.
That's
There is
another-
not a bad episode in that show. All
No,
9 are peak
oh.
fiction.
Okay, one, that's not true, in my opinion. But
It's the
that's
third
another
best
show.
Marvel show.
Your
That's
opinion is wrong.
It's in the
That's
top 5 for all Marvel shows ever.
Now here's the thing with
Damn,
that show.
my good sir. As much as I love you, my good sir, you're about to be crucified.
Now
Nah,
that is a show.
She-Hulk's fucking great. I don't even. I'm not taking any slander for my
It's fine,
girl.
it's fine. I'm just kidding.
That's
No-
a show
no-
where I don't
No slander
like
for
it.
her. She's. It's okay.
That's a show I don't like, but it's one like if people talk about it, I don't give a shit about. So
I like honestly, just in general, I don't even want to talk about it because if I talk about it more, I'm gonna hate it more.
Did you just fucking kiss that thing?
wait, I'm sorry, I was adjusting the set. What the hell happened? Never. Actually, I'm good.
Your brother was making out with his Funko Pop.
She's more than a Funko Pop. Okay.
So this
we
was a
need to
fun
move on.
stream. I'll see you guys later.
Family highlights. Family highlights.
Okay, we need to move on.
Okay, anyways.
We got so carried away.
We're starting off today's panel talking about the one. The one.
The Strangers, Chapter 1.
What? Okay.
I do want to know quickly, are you guys, because I know you two didn't really drive with the film. I know, Mike, you walked out, what was it, but 10, 15, what was it? How much
20 minutes
time was
before
left?
it ended, and
20
I was
minutes left.
fucking
I will
done.
say, are you guys, like, what is your ground rule for the next one? Like, what are you gonna have to see to be like, I'll go back and
If
watch
it
this
gets
one?
amazing fucking reviews, I will go see it. If
Like
it
if
gets
it,
okay.
like if it's like past like a 60 for me on Rotten Tomatoes, I'll go. Like
I already got my ticket. I'm ready for that movie.
I'm hyped.
I'm so hyped.
When that screen cut and it said to be continued, I was like, hell yeah, get me the next one right now. I was
I
like,
can already
was
tell
just,
the
like,
setting.
I'm sorry, but I was just like, oh fuck you, movie.
Now,
If
I
the
have my
cliffhanger-
issues. I have
if the
quite a bit of
cliffhanger
issues,
and the little
which is why I
tease-
didn't like it. Camden, wait. Okay, I'll talk. Then
Dude,
you
it's
go.
it's digital. It's hard to tell when you're talking.
Now my thing is I have my issues with chapter 1 that I hope I get I hope I get justified, but a big reason as to why I enjoy this one, especially more than the last film, is every single issue I had with the original film was like rectified for me at least in this new one, and that's exactly what I wanted. That's exactly what I need a remake to be, is to fix if you're going to do a remake, add some stuff and fix the issues that the original had. And I like that it wasn't a shot for shot remake, which a lot of people said, but I wouldn't say it was. And then it fixed a lot of my issues for it. So I did like The Strangers Chapter 1. I'm very excited. It is. I think it's a better movie than the original Strangers film. I haven't seen Prey at Night, so I can't give an opinion on that, but I think it's scarier. I think the acting's better. I think the killers I actually prefer the look. At first I was a little rocky on the killers' designs, changes specifically for the girls, because of I didn't think they were too distinct, especially with the beanie. But I mean, they grew on me as I watched the film. I like the design a lot. I liked the movie quite a bit, and I'm excited to see where it goes.
Totally fair. I get that.
But
Except the part about it being scary. I didn't get that at all.
I will
didn't
say
find
the
it scary
jump scares.
whatsoever.
The jump scares were kind of not great. But I will say I think the tension for me, because here's the thing: the scariest. I don't know if you guys know this, because I don't really talk about that online. The scariest type of film to me is a home invasion film. That's the thing that gets me going. Like Hush scared the fuck out of me. Hush was terrifying for me.
Yeah.
It's a great film too. But I lacked a lot of, now granted, a lot of the cinematography and a lot of the ways they hide the killers in the background of stuff in the original film is great, but there was, I don't know what it was. Perhaps it was the cinematography changes. Perhaps I think it looked better. I don't know what it was about this one. It scared. I was tensed up for like the whole movie. And Camden has testified. He's like, when you're watching me watch a film, you can't tell if I like it or love it. I have a very like, it's the same exact face. I just sit like this. Like
You can't read him at all.
No,
You can't.
So it's very much a surprise for a lot of people that I go see films with if I either like a movie or hate a movie, because I don't really switch up. Like if I love a movie, you won't see me like just in awe of what I'm watching.
I thought he was gonna
Dune,
hate Strangers. I thought he was gonna hate Chapter 1.
but I mean, it was another one where
Yeah.
I'm sitting like this the entire movie, but I still, you know, when you are like feeling scared and your heart's like racing and your stomach feels weird and you're like, you feel like you could jump. That's how I felt from when they like, from the first like tension scene with Madeline Pelch and the second like is Tamara home moment to the very end of the movie. That's how I felt for the whole thing, and that's why it really did get a positive score for me, is because it allowed me to feel tense throughout the whole movie, even if some of the jump scares were a little weak.
Yeah, and for me, it's really easy to tell if I'm in like to a movie and if I'm locked in because I'm in my seat. I hit the fucking
Fucking A, bro.
Just staring.
It's easy to read me too, because specifically with If, you could see me like, "Aw," or like a little.
Yeah. Like, bro, like I can't even. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but
Oh my god.
for me, like you can just tell by someone like facial expressions, like if I'm liking a movie or not. Like again, like it's not. I never usually like express it, but there was like 2 people behind me in my screening for The Strangers Chapter 1.
Same.
I can't lie to you. After like, I can't remember what the dialogue was because I've already kind of forgotten the movie except for the last 20 minutes. When there's one piece of dialogue said that just annoyed the living shit out of me, I took my hat and I threw it against the seat next to me because nobody was sitting there, because I was just like, are you fucking kidding me? This is what you're giving me. After the first one was so good, this is what you give me.
I
Like-
will say that the one time, and Camden didn't see it with me, it was oddly enough me and my grandma, as Challengers. Is that film you could tell how I was feeling? I guess don't ask why I have these just on my desk. It was for thumbnail. It was for The Strangers thumbnail. But when at the end of the film and Josh O'Connor has the tennis ball and he does the ball thing in the middle of the tennis racket, the entire theater was quiet and I just went, that movie like actually got like genuine reactions out of me. But for the most part, I am like
I
that.
can't,
But I
I
am
can't lie to you
curious.
about that. Like seriously.
The part I'm excited about the most about this stream is because you guys, I know Luke enjoys the film. Do you enjoy the original The Strangers, Mike?
I like it. It's not one that I love per se, but it's like very okay.
That's fair. I give it like a 5.
I thought it was creepy. Like that movie actually creeps me out. Like
On my most recent rewatch, I gave it a 7 initially, and then bumped it down to a 6, just because like watching Chapter 1 like pointed out like, yeah, there's issues with that first one. Like, who the fuck was banging on the door about Tamara? Who the fuck even was that? Not explained.
and plus
and
they never
yeah.
even tell us like who is Tamara or anything like that. They don't
We
even tell
actually
us about
are
it.
finding who we actually are like figuring out who Tamara is in the new trilogy at some point. I heard from the director.
Rennie Harlin said that that's one of the parts he's most excited about. Rennie Harlin, I keep calling him Rennie Harling, and I don't know why. He said that's the part one of the parts he's most excited about is letting the audience know what's the deal with Tamara and why that's something is so, I guess, like a key staple of The Strangers. So I am actually very curious to know what the hell that's all about.
Mm-hmm. And like for my thoughts on like the original Strangers before we get into our thoughts on Chapter 1, and I am the one full on in this stream right here that probably likes it the least, because and no disrespect to anyone who likes the first one, I hated it. The first 30 minutes of the movie I loved. I was hooked. It had me tense. I was scared. I thought it was great. And then the next hour of it for me got progressively more frustrating to the point where it ruined the rest of the movie for me. And then I saw chapter 1 and I was like, this did everything better for me. And what are you doing over there, Mike?
Huh?
And I just thought chapter 1 improved everything about the first one for me as someone who despises it, the first movie.
I will say quickly before I forget, the trailer for The Strangers, there was one moment, or chapter 1, there was one moment in the trailer I just hated, and that was when they're eating the burger and the blood drops, and she goes, "You are such a messy eater." I was like, why cut it like that? Because you can tell, like, the ketchup isn't going onto the fry box. It was such a small thing in the trailer, but it's the thing that pissed me off the most about it, and it is better in the movie. Because that was something I wish I said in my review, but I forgot it. That's something I was like, because Camden leaned over to me and he was like, "Wait, they fixed it," because that was like our both thing. We were like, "That's so stupid." They fixed it in the movie. So I just really quick before I forget anything else, I gotta mention that. I liked that.
I don't even remember what the fuck the line was that she said.
I think
It
she
was
said
just
you were
like-
like such a messy eater or something like that.
And she was like,
in
"You're
the movie?
such a messy eater." And then, like, in the trailer, they said that, and then she looked up and she was like, "Oh!" And it was cut weirdly.
Right in the movie though, what happened there? I don't.
It was a chicken that was on top of it.
Yeah, she was like-
the
So
chandelier.
no, yeah, they were Mike. They were eating burgers, and a lot of the like condiments from his burger was like dripping onto his packaging.
Oh,
So she
yeah.
said, "You are such a messy eater," and then they started seeing the blood drop onto the
Oh.
fry box, and then that's when they look up.
Yeah, the scene was more like spread out because, of course, they cut it down for the trailers, and having the just couple extra, like probably the extra like 20 seconds, saved the scene from being completely like stupid.
Was it kind of stupid still? I don't know how they never noticed the bird hanging from their fucking ceiling. Yeah, it's a little weird, but it's
I thought
better.
That, like I was still like even like when they looked like even when they were looking up, I was like I knew this was coming. Like you don't have to be like, okay, yeah, we're just gonna show you. And be like, I know what's coming. Don't like play like a fucking loud jolt of music there. I know what's coming.
I will say,
And
I'm
then,
glad
and then
they.
it shows it, and I was just like, oh, okay, cool.
I am glad they didn't do, because of course, you know, there is the like stinger sound when there are jump scares. I did like that wasn't often, like it happened enough in the movie, yeah, but there were still a couple of moments where we had one of the strangers show up and they didn't play the sound. Like I'm not gonna go into specifics, but there was a certain thing.
Oh yeah,
with
this
a
is a
lighter.
spoiler stream. So
Oh wait, is this a spoiler?
Yeah, you
stream?
can't forget that. Spoilers.
Okay,
But I
perfect.
also do want to say, like the scene, like when they lock themselves in a certain room and the baghead dude starts axing down the door. I was like, oh great, yeah, he's coming in. He's actually gonna make his way in. And then I was like, oh, okay.
I like
know he
that.
wasn't.
Once,
I know
like,
he
here's the
wasn't,
thing.
because
Here's the
that's how
thing.
fucking movie
Once
works.
they move the drawer and they get out, I was like, you guys are gonna fucking die. Like, you're gonna die right here. Like,
I liked
this
that
is-
a lot. I really liked that he axed down the door, looked at him for a bit, and then left, because that, like, to me, that's such a
like,
stranger's.
honestly, if I was him,
But that's exactly what they fucking do in the movie, and I had no tension because I know how the movie goes. I knew exactly
Yeah,
every single.
It's a very it's a very
I
stranger.
really,
It's a very
honestly-
stranger's thing because they're
like,
they're
every
obviously they're
single
gonna
time-
kill him, but they're fucking with them the whole
Mhm.
time. They're trying to scare him,
every
so they're
single
like,
time they do that though, it's just like you're not really pleasing your audience here. Like
Mhm.
you're just making them be like, okay, this is just a waste of time. Like,
But didn't that
seriously, like-
happen in
like the
in the first film as well, where they would fuck with the audience? So how come
But at least
I'm
that
no.
one- but at
If
least
I
that one
defend
was
this film,
cleverly
I
done.
will. I do want to clarify. It's not me targeting at you. Sometimes the way I form questions, I do want to mention it, is it could sound like I'm being aggressive, and I 100% don't intend that. So if it comes off that way, I
Gotcha.
do apologize. But I do want to say that happens in the first film too, where they fuck with them. And I think that is the most, like, one of the most fascinating parts about The Strangers. How come it bothered you in chapter 1, but it didn't bother you in the original?
Because it was exactly how they do it in the original.
exactly,
Okay.
it was the same
literally-
freaking thing.
It's
Like,
copy paste every last.
Yes,
fucking detail.
exactly. That's exactly what it is. And seriously, like I said, once they move that drawer out, I'm like, you guys are not going to go out, are you? they open the door, they leave that room, and I was just like, all right, I hope you guys die. I hope you die.
Listen,
I will
listen,
say, go ahead.
Okay, so I'm gonna just go off the deep end here because look, this movie, I was giving it a chance. First 20 minutes, I heard.
Same here. I was giving it a chance. Like,
First like 20 minutes, half hour, whatever the fuck, I heard was not great because like the acting.
I agree with that.
Good. And yeah, it's not good.
It's very
Like, it's not
CW like
great,
the first
but
20 minutes.
But again, I was still
20
like,
minutes so bad.
I'll just say this though, like the first 20 minutes, they weren't great, but I was still giving the film a chance. I was actually like, okay, maybe it'll get better from here.
Mhm.
Like,
exactly, that's exactly what I was trying to do too. But the thing is too, though, with me, I was like, oh my god, this is fucking awful. Everything at the restaurant was so cliche, opening of a horror movie, and so just like terribly acted. Like the waitress, like, oh, she's vegan. That was so fucking annoying. It's like, what the fuck
I
is
was
wrong
just
with
like, oh
being
my
a vegan?
god, please,
What the fuck is wrong with being a
get
vegan?
out of this now, please.
Exactly. You have salads. Just say, oh yeah, we got a salad. Not, oh, you're a vegetarian. Just wasting time. Like, what the? Why do we need that? Why is that at all?
Like, why is it a fucking plot point in this fucking thing? Like,
Yeah. And then they brought it back again, which is so fucking stupid. And then there was like shit like the whatever the fuck, like the car getting, having to get worked on. That's just like, it's 2 in the fucking afternoon. How is your garage closed? How? It's midday.
your garage would not even would be closed until like 6 or 7 o'clock at night.
Exactly. And
I think they said they had a
fucking 2 in the afternoon.
I think they said they had like an actual reason, like why the garage was specifically closed. And I feel like there's something. I feel like there's something going on. Like obviously, I feel
There's
like
something going on with the whole town, and they.
I feel like
clearly
there's
hinted that.
like some setup going on between the entire town and specifically like the cabin because they knew about the cabin being an Airbnb. Why would they know about like specifically Airbnbs in the area if they're all local and live there? And then also like the car randomly shutting down. I feel like that was caused by them to try to trap them in and bring them to the cabin and isolate them there. And so that's why I think the garage may have not been closed, but I think that was fictitious and just a lie that they made up to try to trap Maya and what's it, Jason?
Ryan.
Ryan. I can't remember his name. I don't know why.
God. Okay, another thing too, though. The one smart thing that any of the fucking characters say in the movie is instantly shut down by the girlfriend. Like Ryan, she's like, oh, okay, this is weird. What, you were clearly staring at the car, so you definitely just broke down my car. So then, of course, the smart character ends up dying in the end, right? Because then we have to look forward to waiting for more.
Well, even then, though, like even with that smart decision, like that's still not enough to make up for that character because the rest of the film, they're fucking idiots.
I don't
idiots.
I don't know. I feel like a lot of the choices they make. Well, okay, I will admit, the one scene that really I was like, okay, they're being idiots right now is when he has the shotgun to pin up girl and he doesn't fire. That was the one scene where I was like, okay, that was pretty dumb. But I feel like overall, a lot of the choices in here, and I'm not saying they were the smartest choices, they felt like human choices. Like a lot of the things that like Ryan did, where he would rash out and he would storm out of the house, or he would act out, and how he turned the corner and he quickly shot one of the guys. I was like, okay, was that the best idea? No. Would I have done the same? But then once you find out that
it was actually the owner of the house, I was like, okay, you're a fucking idiot.
I mean, yeah.
Well, to be fair,
the same thing happens in the original. Not the same thing. Yeah. It is set up differently. And I will say I like the. I'm very conflicted on which version of it I like more, whether it being the friend or the car guy. But the same thing happens. But I like how they treated it in this new one. How he didn't really think enough. He just turned and fired. And in a way, I did appreciate that choice because who wouldn't do that? You have 3 mass killers storming your house and you think they're going to kill you and you have the opportunity to fire. Would you guys really look to wait and see to make sure it's one of them, or would you guys have fired? I personally...
I would have fired.
Well, yeah, it wasn't the car guy that went to the house. It was the owner because prior in the movie, Maya called about the broken fridge.
Oh, that's right. And it was
Yeah.
the owner.
But like,
It was the
to me, it made perfect sense why they turned and shot, because they're isolated, alone. They don't think anyone's like coming there. They're trapped with 3 serial killers. They see someone at the front door, so the first instinct is to turn and shoot. And yeah, it was kind of dumb that, hey, they just shot a guy and murdered him. But I like that they had that moment afterwards where the guy's like guilty about it because he just killed a random man. And so
I
they
will
had that
say-
moment of guilt. And then they had a smart moment when he was like, wait, the Jeep, the keys are right here. We can get away.
I will say I also liked the fact that because I watched a couple of reviews for the film, and I will say I liked that someone had a good crowd experience in this moment when Maya turns and she said, "Oh, 1 sec," and she grabbed the shotgun instead of leaving that. Apparently, some theaters like they like kind of chuckled at that because a lot of horror films they would have just left the shotgun and just kept going. I like the fact it's such a minute detail, but it made me kind of appreciate what they were doing more with the character's intelligence of actually, hold on, no, let me grab our best weapon here. But
the characters were way smarter than Liv Tyler in the original Strangers, where she
were.
was like wandering like a jackass on her way to the shed.
No, they were smarter, and I think they were smarter in this one. Did they make the best choices? Hell no. But I mean, granted, they are under extreme pressure. I could see this one. I see more of the logic in their choices than I do in the original film. But there are pretty dumb decisions. And regarding those first 20 minutes, those parts I was like, ooh, this kind of sucks so far. The acting is bad. The dialogue is quite forced. And I think I agree with you about that diner. I think it's awkwardly cut and paste. It didn't seem like they knew what they wanted to do there. But at the same time, I kind of appreciate the fact that they tried to make us care about the characters instead of just thrusting us into this whole scenario. And I read this review of The Strangers Chapter 1, and I really, really appreciated what they said, and I loved it. And they said, in some factions in the original film, that we knew the same about Liv Tyler and I forgot the other guy's name as we did about the Strangers, because they just thrown us in, and they just were like, here, there are people breaking into your house. You're supposed to care about these characters. That is just thrown in there, and I know some people won't agree with that. I personally do. I didn't care a single fuck about the characters in the original film, as I liked that we knew, okay, yeah, they clearly do love each other compared to a broken relationship in the first film. It's so weird saying first film when this is the first of 3, like referring to the original film as the first film.
Yeah.
But I appreciate that a lot of trying to make us care about these characters more. It is clunky dialogue, but I do appreciate it, of her wanting to move up to a different place to go to school, him wanting to go with them wanting to get married. And I did like the fact that it was like a long time into their relationship and they weren't happy. And I liked the callback at the end of the movie when he did. I can't remember if there was a similar situation in the original. One of you guys, because I know you both recently rewatched it, if I'm correct. I liked the fact that Ryan, even though, because he knew this was it for them, I liked the fact that he did in a way propose. And I like that they set it up in the original, in the opening. I think that is one of the biggest important things for me of what I preferred about this film, is that I did care about the characters more here.
Yeah, for me, it just came down to the fact that this movie, for me, felt more real. Like there was a town that led to the cabin that they were staying at, and
It felt lived in.
They were real. They were really freaking weird characters, and very clunky dialogue, very clunky acting. But I appreciate the effort to make this one feel. This movie just felt to me more alive than the original did, and I just felt more connected with this version of The Strangers than I did with the original.
On my Letterboxd review, it was so funny. Because I said I liked that the killers felt real and in a way grounded in this one, and not saying they weren't in the original. Because they both felt. I think both interpretations felt like real people doing these acts. But someone said, one of my least favorite parts about this new one is that they were teleporting all over the place when we genuinely see a couple times them booking it from the back. Like we saw, because I saw a couple times, I think it was Pinup Girl, where we just saw her like sprint, especially one, it kind of made me chuckle when she did it, when Bad Kid Man has Maya from the window, with the axe, and she's choking her. Ryan shoots, and in the background, out of focus, you just see Pinup Girl turn and run the other way. I was like, that's kind of funny. Also human. She's not gonna stay there. She knows she's not winning against a shotgun.
Yeah, I also love when that this was probably my favorite scare in the movie is when they got to the shed, they flicker on the light, and I think it's Pinup Girl, right?
I believe it's Pinup Girl.
I don't know any of the names of the girls besides like Baghead. But like they flicker on the light, she's in the back, and I feel like other horror movies, the light would have like flickered and she would have disappeared. But I like that like the light stayed on and she just stepped out of view. I thought
Also,
that made
there's
it
no
creepier.
audio cue. I like that there's no audio cue for it. I think we should probably let the host and then probably Luke talk though. Go ahead.
Listen. As I was saying though,
Yeah.
when they're at the diner and Ryan says something smart and is instantly cut by Madeline Petsch. No, we'll take the Airbnb. We'll take the Airbnb. Why are you even gonna say this?
You're just
creepy
you're
ass
just
town?
making yourself being part of the setup.
Exactly.
Like
You shouldn't
like,
feel
do you
guilty
want
because
do
you're
you
living in a
want to
creepy-ass
get
town.
yourself killed? Do you want Ryan to get killed?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you want?
But at that point, she also didn't think. I think I totally see that, and I think it was a little weird how she did instantly shoot it down without like any convincing. I will say though, it's not like they knew killers were gonna come. Like, yeah, the people were weird, but my first instinct is when like weird people who I was a little off by, but they ended up being like, hey, there's this thing, or they're polite. My first instinct is, oh, they're probably tricking me to go get murdered. So I like to some extent I feel like again clunky dialogue in the first 20 minutes, but I also see why her character was let's do it. But
the way I saw that and like her like quick decisions with it was like we're in a completely new town that we've never been to before. We don't know anyone. We don't want to jump the gun, point fingers, and be dicks right away because
plus they didn't
like,
make the greatest impression.
Because
our cars like not working right now, and if we need help we have to make sure like they trust us enough to
Plus
help
Ryan was kind of an asshole to him.
yeah
for
Honestly,
good reason though, because that man quite literally just fucking like killed his car, but you know, whatever.
I think
and also I felt like the car just being broken.
Oh, now you're muted.
I felt like the car just being like broken down. I thought was just forced. Like I thought
don't know.
it was forced to a point, just so that way they can set him up into just going into this supposed cabin Airbnb. Like I don't know what they were thinking. Like it was just forced to me.
I mean, I could see that, but I also think one of the parts that what is important about that, and one thing I appreciated again is there is a reason for them to not be able to just run out of their house right away. Like, yeah, they could have already left, and especially in the original film. And some people might be upset, stop bringing up the original. It's a remake. I'm gonna compare it.
Mm-hmm.
They had a car that worked, and until Ryan was like, not Ryan. I don't remember the characters' names in the original film. When the boyfriend goes out and he's like, I'm gonna go get my phone. And then they like throw stuff. I can't remember. What happens to their car in the original film?
They get plowed over.
Okay, because that does happen in the new one, but doesn't it happen later on to like the other guy's car? I believe is when they get.
I don't.
They start getting rammed by Baghead. I think.
Yeah, and
they kept on getting rammed, and then it got into a tree until they got squished.
Yeah, and then they tried escaping with the motorcycle, and then obviously it blows up because we have to have every other reason.
How are we supposed to know it blew up? Like, how did it blow up?
But back to the car,
and then it's just like, oh, he actually had a gas can. What does that mean? What did he use to blow it up?
Exactly.
I mean, back to the car though. I appreciate the fact that right off the bat they set up a reason as to why they can't escape, like immediately. I like, of course, the bike mysteriously blows up, but again, they think we have the bike. Let's go and let's get out of here. When they think it's at least safe to semi-run, I appreciate the fact that they instantly are like, okay, right off the bat, they don't have a car. They mentioned it's a couple miles out from any civilization. I appreciate that.
Okay, but to be fair, they don't have a car, but then they instantly bring in the bike. Why? the hell
Like,
are you even
where
gonna bring
where
in
did the bike come from?
Exactly.
Where
And
did
it's
it come
just some
from?
random old bike. It wouldn't fucking work if it was an old ass bike. It wouldn't
mean,
fucking work.
Exactly.
owner-
You're right.
The owner was clearly semi close by. I don't know why he was just like kind of renting out his house when he was clearly
Well,
close
because
by.
he went on hunting excursion. So when he went out
Oh, that's
out
right.
hunting, he rent out his house. So obviously it's his bike, and he takes his like Jeep out when he goes hunting, and probably when he's just in town, he
Yeah,
uses his bike,
I think
which
it's
would be my guess.
perfectly reasonable to assume, oh yeah, this guy had a motorcycle. He uses it semi-frequently enough where there is at least some gas in it and it works. I don't think that's really something to not necessarily complain about, but I mean, I think it totally makes sense.
The owner's bike. They never said it was the owner's bike. So how are we supposed to put that together? Like,
I mean,
I was just assuming it was the owner's bike because it was. I'm just like assuming it's the owner's bike based on the context of it because it was
Ryan
at the
literally
cabin when they got there.
Ryan literally said, I saw a bike out front. We could use that. It's clearly
Okay.
the owner's bike.
right, but they literally said the owner is a hunter that owns this house as a throwaway line. They never even brought it up again until the owner comes back to the house. So like, it's just a fucking throwaway line that like you're supposed to just remember like this bike is the hunter's. This the owner's.
Like
I don't-
whose bike is it? We don't
Yeah.
know whose it is. Like, it's like once we see it, like, oh yeah, there's a bike out there. Whose is it?
I mean,
it's
it's
not
obvious,
yours.
but it is obviously his though.
Yeah,
because
I
it's
think
on
it
his-
played. I think the throwaway line for the hunter had more than just the bike because they also say, "Hey, this guy's a hunter. He probably has a gun around here that we can defend ourselves with." So I think it played into it more with that. But I liked that they took out the car because I leaned over to my mom and I said this to her during the movie. I was like, I like that they took away the car because it's another step to making them more isolated because.
Yeah.
They do have the bike, and I was like, when stuff started getting creepy in the original, they had the car there. Like, it might not have, like, I don't know when the strangers like made the. I don't know why, and my memory's kind of fuzzy on like the car stuff in the original. Did they like make it so they like it like wouldn't? Because I thought that there was a point where like wouldn't run for them.
Yeah,
no,
I can't.
they had the car basically the whole time, which I mean, yeah, they are stupid. That's the main thing that holds back that movie, but it's just like
It's really the main thing that I think holds back both movies is that the characters, while I think in chapter 1 they're smarter, I still wouldn't fully say they're like smart characters.
It unfortunately just comes down that if we want scary shit to happen, there has to be character sacrifices.
But
and that's what
makes the movies not great is because they have to be stupid for the plot to even move forward. So why the fuck are you gonna make us watch these actual
And also,
movies?
like, and plus when they're acting that stupid, how are we gonna care?
And that was my
Exactly.
biggest complaint
how
with
like wanting to be them like, oh yeah, like come on guys, make it out alive. You're just like, I hope you guys fucking die.
And that was my biggest complaint with Thanksgiving, honestly, because I don't know why that's like the first horror film, at least slasher film to come to mind, is that characters they're pretty stupid in that film, and they're very shallow. Those were my two biggest complaints with the Thanksgiving film.
Yeah.
But again, I think to some level, and I wish it wasn't like this, and I wish screenwriters would come up with a better way to handle these kind of slasher films. They are going to be stupid to some extent. I just think that they're less stupid in the new one than in the original. And that's
like,
really what it comes down to.
Like I love Thanksgiving. I had such a fun time watching it because it's just it's a really fun slasher. But none of the characters, I didn't like any of the characters, and it was to the point where the only character's name I knew wasn't even the character's name. I just knew Addison Rae.
Yeah,
so that's what my friend group called her.
That's fair.
Yeah, we were just like, oh, Addison. That's all we knew her as. I couldn't tell you a single character's name
That's
in that
completely
movie.
fair. I couldn't really tell you a whole one of them off the top of my head besides Scuba because it's just such a fucking stupid name.
But it was Thanksgiving was such an off the wall slasher that not having like any like smart characters made more sense because that's that subgenre of horror, which is what you come to expect. Which is why I think when there were smarter decisions made by the characters and even just like little hints of it, that's why I thought like it worked. Like I liked how when Maya got the nail stuck in her hand, that like she tried like her best to try to keep quiet because she knew if she screamed as loudly as she wanted to because of how much it hurt, that like they would be dead instantly. So she had like little yelps, but she tried to catch it as soon as possible, which is just I think subtleness with like smarts that I just think really helped the movie.
Because you have a nail in your hand, that's gonna hurt like a bitch no matter what. So I like the fact that as soon as he as Ryan pulls it out, he grabs her to like muffle it even more. I think that was smart. And I don't know why, because was Thanksgiving the one of the most recent slashers? I think so, right?
Yeah.
It was November, so yeah.
So that's another one where I was like, I like the movie quite a bit. I do like Thanksgiving more, but again, it's just something that I think is unfortunately something that is just going to happen in these.
It's just a falter of the genre.
Yeah,
that is totally true. But The Strangers isn't a slasher; it's a home invasion. Like, why are they so dumb?
I'd say especially chapter 1, it leans more into elements of like it's clearly not full slasher because I wouldn't say there's enough kills to warrant it, but it is much more of in the vein of a slasher film than the original.
It's a home invasion with a hint of slasher stuff in it. Because I'm not going to call it a slasher because it's not.
Mm-hmm.
Like it doesn't have enough kills to count as a slasher because they don't go around slashing people. There's, I think, from memory, like 2 kills in the movie.
There's 1 to 2. Because there's the opening kill and then there's the shotgun kill. And I think
there's an opening kill. What opening? Did I just forget kills. There was an opening scene?
There's 3 kills, and
the guy was running in the woods, and then they found him, and then they cut to the
right. I forgot about that scene.
It was
the shotgun guy, and then there was the then there was Ryan at the end of the movie.
Yeah. So 3 kills. So
it's not a bad kill count.
Griffin.
Hey,
thanks, man.
I will say, there's not a lot of kills in the movie, but it's very. I feel like you could tell that Renny Harlin was definitely at least inspired by slasher films in the way he approached, at least the way the killers behaved in the film. But I mean,
there's a little drop
it is not a
slasher
film.
It's not.
No. Chapter 2 is probably going to be. I could see the next 2 becoming slasher films.
Actually, no, because it's been said 2 and 3 are not supposed to be actual horror films. They're supposed to be like these romantical looks at how home invasion victims are so like mislooked, and it's like, I don't fucking want to watch that if that's really what you're going to turn this fucking trilogy into. But
that kind of sounds cool to me. Honestly,
I will say I appreciate the fact that they were like, okay, it's been since 2008 in a couple of years it'll be 20 years since the original film. Let's remake
10 years since the second one.
Yeah, let's remake the first film, and then we'll do our own stuff with it. I appreciate the fact because that's how you keep the franchise alive, is you switch things up. I think it will still be that feel of The Strangers, especially with chapter 2 most likely being primarily set in a hospital with where the film cuts off. And I feel like there will be, again, slasher elements, but I like the fact that they're going to take it in a new direction because the original was very similar. I haven't seen a lot of Prey at Night, but I've seen clips and stuff, and it seems like it is much more slasher-esque.
That's more of like a slasher, like an 80s slasher in a trailer park. It's not like a home invasion.
Mm-hmm.
Are there still elements of The Strangers? Like, is there the whole like knocking on the door and?
There's a little bit like I'm pretty sure there was like a knocking on the door bit. I really don't remember a whole lot about that one. It's just kind of forgettable, honestly. But
but to be fair though, like the only thing you can't forget, the only thing you can't forget about Prey at Night is how much dumber the characters are. Like they're even dumber in Prey at Night.
Well, okay, but that it makes sense a little bit for that though, because like that is definitely more of a slasher movie. But at the same time, I get why people don't like it.
It doesn't.
Exactly, and that's what I don't like about the movie is that they changed it up from being The Strangers, the home invasion movie, to a slasher movie. And it's just like, I don't know why they did that exactly, but I like 80s slashers, so I kind of dig it, but like, I don't know why they decided to do that with The Strangers.
I think it was not balanced at all. Like,
I think the fact that they wrote The Strangers the new trilogy as a 280-page like one just big like 4-hour movie. I think
That's
the
kinda-
fact that they approached it like that is interesting to me, and I feel like it's still I at least I hope, because this new one felt a lot like what I wanted the original Strangers to feel like. I'm sure they're going to make sure that chapter 2 and chapter 3, while approaching a new direction, and I could totally be eating my own words by the time the fall comes around and chapter 2 releases, but I feel like Rennie Harlan is still going to make sure that to some extent it feels still like the Strangers, taking into account what people disliked about Prey at Night and wanting to adjust it. I hope that it's still in the vein of this film, but I think we can probably all admit it's probably going to be very consistent in quality since it was just one line screenplay.
I think it's okay, like, personally, for chapter 2, if they switch it up to be more about, like, studying home invasion effects, because we really haven't had a true Strangers follow-up. Yeah, there's Prey at Night, which is technically a sequel, but that's new characters that we're following.
I mean,
So-
What makes it a sequel is that the Strangers are in it.
I think this would work because we're only 3 movies in for the Strangers as a whole, and 2 of them, like, I don't think personally chapter 1 is a shot-for-shot remake, because they do take moments
It's
from
not
it,
a
but
shot-for-shot remake.
they change-
It's not.
they do
it's not
change some stuff,
shot-for-shot,
but, like,
it is
It's more so
very-
beat. It's kind of it's more along the lines of like a beat for beat film than
Yeah.
It takes the same beats of the
same-
original film,
Yeah.
which is what a remake should do, but it makes its own twist with it.
yeah,
And I
for
think that's what the remake should do.
for simplicity's sake, I'll just say, like, we're only 3 Strangers movies in. 2 of them are basically the same movie. So I think it's okay if we change it up, because, like, if we got to this point, like, I haven't seen all of the Saw movies, so, like, this could be wrong, but if Saw suddenly got, like, slow and methodical and was, like, studying the, like if Saw 11 was about the aftermath of, like, because I know there's a little kid involved in Saw X from, like, what I've seen.
Yeah.
Like, if the next one was about him and his effects, seeing everything go down, I feel like that might be a little bit different for Saw, depending, because I've only seen first 3, 9, so.
Well, Saw was the same movie 7 times in a row
Yeah.
until Jigsaw happened.
But, like, I think this would work for the Strangers, because we can still have the home invasion aspect, but it's like she could be able to kind of, like, know what to expect from the Strangers, which I think is going to make a change up more interesting. Because if it was just a home invasion again in a different environment, it would get old for 3 movies.
Right, and I like that they're tackling. I like the fact that they're going to tackle the. I hate. You know, Jamie Lee Curtis really ruined the term trauma in horror films for me after, like, the Kills and Ends of, like, it's a movie about trauma and all that stuff. But I think in the case of the Strangers, of the torment they go through, and it's a grounded idea, I think it could make looking back at chapter 1, depending on how it's handled, it could make chapter 1 more scary, depending on
It
how
could.
she is reacting to it. But again, it's very
I'm-
hard to predict what they're going to do with the other 2.
I am keeping fingers crossed that
Mhm.
chapter 2 miraculously can save this movie, because holy fuck, I did not like this movie one
Neither
bit.
did I.
But I will say, like I said earlier, my boundary for going to see chapter 2 is if it gets decent reviews. Shit.
Yeah.
I'll agree. I'll agree on that end, because
If it gets decent
if
reviews,
they-
I will watch it. If it doesn't, I won't.
I would just, like, if it doesn't get good reviews, I'm just skipping it in theaters.
Yeah, I think that the quality of chapter 2 is going to affect people's outlook on chapter 1. Like, if chapter 2 is, like, miraculously really great, I think some people are going to be like, The Strangers chapter 1 isn't as bad as I remembered. I still think people that really don't like it are still probably not going to like. I don't think it's going to change it to be like, I love this movie now.
No.
But I think they might understand a little bit more with how it's leading, because that's how trilogies are. If Beyond the Spider-Verse sucks, people are going to look at Across the Spider-Verse differently.
Yeah.
That's why
Because-
I'm very excited to see how chapter 2 and 3 take the story of chapter 1
Mhm.
and how people are going to feel about the whole trilogy when it concludes. I assume early
Yeah.
next year. I believe they
Well,
said. I think
that
that's going to be
chapter-
the most fascinating thing about this, and that's why I love the fact that they shot 3 back to back. And regardless of the reception of chapter 1, I like the fact that Lionsgate is seeing it through.
Mhm.
I
If
appreciate
chapter-
that.
Yeah, if chapter 2 sucks, I think chapter 3 is obviously still going to release, but I think it's going to be pretty doomed critically, audience reviews, and then box office. I think it's
Yeah.
pretty screwed. But if chapter 2 sucks, chapter 1 is going to be looked down upon even more than it already is. If it's good, I think people might have a bit more appreciation with it. It's not going to be a complete switch up, but they might be like, knowing what this led into, because obviously chapter 2 isn't the complete story yet, but there might be like seeing what some of this led to makes a bit more sense. And then if chapter 3 sucks, it sucks for the
The
trilogy.
whole
But if
franchise is just doomed.
it's good, then if chapter 3 sucks, I think we're done with The Strangers.
I think we are at least for another like 10, 20 years. I don't think
But if
Lionsgate
it's
is going to try it
good,
again.
yeah, and especially if chapter 2 and 3 are genuinely good movies, I think the odds of us seeing more Strangers films are highly likely.
Well, Rennie Harling, he said in an interview, he was like, I love these three. I love these three movies that I made. I can't wait for them to be revealed to the world. And I do, real quick, sorry.
But
I do
But
definitely.
that's quite a bit of directors that will say that about their movies.
I mean, from
Chris
what I've
Pine
seen,
even said that about Pullman.
I mean, from what I've seen from Harlan, though, is that he truly does care about what he's creating here. And the part that's very interesting to me, and I will say, I do think if any of them is likely to fail, it's going to be part 3. I think that if any of them don't do well at the box office, it's going to be 3. But I will say, what the part that interested me the most is that he said, I loved working on these 3 so much, and I can't wait to put them out to the world. But I'm also excited to start working on the next 3. He already has plans for 4, 5, and 6. Which is very interesting to me. But I also like the fact that he wants to do a franchise out of it. Will he get those 3? Will he get 4, 5, and 6?
Hell no.
Probably not. But the
I
fact
think
that we're getting an ambitious concept like this, 3 movies all in theaters within a couple months of each other, similar to what Fear Street was going to do, where it was going to release in theaters 1 month at a time, was their plan. I appreciate this concept, and I hope we see it again sometime.
I think the most successful in the trilogy, box office wise, it's probably going to be chapter 2, simply because it's a horror movie releasing in fall. So people are like, I want to watch something that's a horror genre, so they're going to go check it out, and it's going to make a butt ton of money.
Which was smart, dropping this one in, because they could have dropped that one in this film in fall, but I think the fact that they're like getting people at least semi-interested in this idea, and then they're dropping one like in September, October, is a telltale time. And then, March is probably going to be sometime around March, like February, March is probably going to be when they drop chapter 3. I don't think they're dropping it in like December, January.
No,
Probably not. Unless they go streaming and then they're just going to switch it to like doing chapter 2 in fall and then chapter 3 whenever afterwards. But
if they did pivot to streaming, though, that'd be a big disappointment for me, just because I love seeing horror movies on the big screen, especially when I personally enjoy them. Because like this is the 4th horror movie. Like there's been quite a bit of horror movies. I've only liked 4 this year so far.
This is in my top 10. This is my number 10th spot of the year. In
Gotcha.
Granted, a couple of those are like 3.5s to 5s, and I did lower Founders Day from a 4 to a 3.5. I was just like, I don't know, thinking about it, not as great as I remembered. I was like, I didn't know what happened, but I said it because we went to Target after me and my mom did. We were like, I'm debating a 3.5 or a 4 right now, and I went with the 4. I'm just gonna switch that to a 3.5 right now. It's at least for like horror films. Oddly enough, like 12th, 11th, and 10th are all horror films. It goes Abigail, Founders Day, and then Strangers Chapter 1. And those are like, I liked all 3 of those. So I don't think it's been a terrible year for horror, but like, let's hope we don't get another like Night Swim Imaginary situation here.
Yeah, I think me and Gav have yapped enough for The Stranger, so I think me and Gav should sit back for a sec, let you guys talk.
Go ahead.
Your thoughts?
well,
I can just
I mean,
firmly.
talking to you
I go
guys,
first.
I will say, I'm not terribly like not looking forward to chapter 2 and 3, but like I said, I'm still standing by. If they don't get good reviews, I'm not watching them unless
Fair.
they're streaming.
Like, I'm not gonna watch. Like, I'll just say this: if they don't get good reviews, I'm skipping them in the theater. I'm just gonna wait for streaming.
Same.
Like that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm gonna do. Like, because if they're gonna get bad reviews, then I'm just gonna support more shit, and I don't want to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you like when you guys say streaming in regards to this? Do you mean like if it goes to like I don't know, Lionsgate made this right? So what streaming service
Yeah.
would that go to?
Might go to like
Probably
Stars
Peacock.
or something like that.
Probably
like,
Peacock.
Peacock or
Because
Yeah.
something like
if
that.
we're gonna go for
Possibly.
Stars, they remember they shut down, like they ended Ash versus the Evil Dead because that got no numbers when it switched over to Stars. That's exactly what would happen with chapter 2 and 3. So they would go on to Peacock because no one has Stars. But yeah, if they do go
No,
to
I'm just saying
Peacock,
that because I know that Joyride and Are You There, God It's Me and Margaret have gone exclusively to that, and they're both
Right.
Lionsgate movies.
but that was after they went to theaters, right? But if they are going like straight to streaming, it would go to Peacock
Real
because
quick,
Yeah.
I should probably
would have
preface
no
what I meant by that is it does the theatrical release and then it heads to
Oh.
streaming. Do you guys think like when you say watch that at streaming? Do you mean like rental price or do you mean like if it's on a streaming service you'll check it out? Like
On a
if it
streaming
comes to
service.
streaming,
Like, I would
Okay.
not
on a
pay to
streaming
watch
service,
it.
yeah, on a streaming service, yeah.
because I feel like
if
it could go either
it's
way.
Stars. If it's on Stars, though, I don't have Stars, and like I don't.
You
know
can
why.
get that as an add-on with Hulu.
Stars.
Like that's like
Yeah,
I just
you
do
can-
that and then
you
it
can
just
do it
cancel
with Hulu.
instantly. I'll still have it.
Yeah,
For like,
I Hulu for some reason it doesn't do that for some reason. So like it just because I think it's because I run through like Verizon or whatever, and they only give you like. Well, so they give you like a free plan of Disney Plus and Hulu, like that combo pack or whatever
Yeah.
that they have for it.
I love that
So
combo
it-
pack. It's great. It's great.
It is, yeah. But like they don't let you get the add-ons for like because it's part of your phone bill.
Yeah.
So like they
I don't know.
also
I don't know how
cut the phone
that
bill,
works
so-
for you because it worked on. I don't know how that doesn't work for you, but
It's just because
Besides the
I
point,
have it with a
um,
phone bill. I have mine with the phone bill and not actually like paying for the service, so I can't add it on. I can do it on Prime, but I've already used the Stars free trial, so I can't use a free trial. I'd have to actually pay for it, and I don't really want to pay $10 for it. So like, yeah.
but that's
Okay,
that's besides the point.
Yeah. Anyways, though, I still don't like the movie.
Mhm.
Neither do I.
I'm standing
Yeah,
by it.
fair.
Makes sense.
Again, good, you guys make good points. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
You guys make good
Yes, I will
points.
say.
I still don't like the movie though.
Yeah.
It leaves room for a part 2, I will say, but it ends on such a point where it's just like, oh, fuck off. Why are you
Like this
ending
is what
right
you're gonna give me. Like
Exactly. And like for a chapter 1, it fails to be a chapter 1 because it gives you the exact same plot that you've already seen and nothing else besides a launching point for chapter 2. It doesn't even give you ground zero. It just gives you like that little nudge out
it
of the
just gives you
ground.
everything
Like,
that you should expect. And
Yeah.
I'm just like this. Like chapter ones are usually supposed to be set up. Like
exactly.
and that is
was
not the
in
right
Across the
setup. Like
Spider-Verse.
look at Dune. Dune is the right setup. Like
Yeah, exactly.
that's how
Dune,
you do setup.
Across the Spider-Verse,
this-
that's how you do it.
Yes, that despite how I feel about the ending, then yes, I will agree.
Yeah.
Despite how I feel about the ending.
Would you guys have preferred if Strangers, because I will say I like the groundwork at the start of the movie and then the hospital bit at the end. Would you guys have preferred if it was like the Strangers storyline stretched to 3 movies, or do you guys like that they're branching it out into a new concept?
I actually have a good way to like kind of rephrase this. Would you guys have preferred it if they just went off of the original Strangers instead of retelling the story and just jumped into, like maybe even brought back Liv Tyler for this and be like, yeah, she survived, made it to the hospital, and just kind of did a Halloween 2018 thing, but like maybe still sped it in 2008?
I guess answer both really, because
I-
those are entirely different questions.
Okay, so Gavin, I like the new concept of it doing like that, but I
Sure.
don't like how they structured the 3 just
Makes
because
sense.
we didn't get a whole lot to actually like set into motion what's going to happen in chapter 2. We get the hospital scene at the very end, and that's all we get. I would have liked if they had just gone like 15 minutes longer, gotten to the hospital, and then shown a little bit of what's happening. And then it'd be like, oh, that's cool.
Then yes, we would actually be more like intrigued with what they're gonna do.
I will
But
say,
the
as
fact
much as
that they
I'm
just give you like okay, like she's in the hospital, and then boom, to be continued. I'm just like, oh fuck off! This is what you give me.
I
Yeah,
will say,
That's not
it made
intriguing enough.
it left me very excited to see where it goes, but I will say I feel like there could have been a tighter cutoff point. Like there's a mid-credit scene in The Strangers where it's her. She sits up in bed, and then it's revealed the Scarecrow is right there, and he raises up as well, and that's the
Yeah.
mid-credit scene. Why didn't they just put that at the end of the movie? Because I feel like while it's still not a big difference, I feel like it's still one where it's like, okay, she's not just laying asleep in the hospital.
I feel it was kind of like they made a remake of The Strangers. They were like, oh shoot, this is the first part to a trilogy. Let's throw something in at the end to kind of be like, yeah, there's still more going on.
Yeah,
That's just
they
forced
should've.
me.
they should.
Which I'm excited. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
I will eventually watch part 2 and 3, not in theaters, but I will watch them at some point. Unless they get actually like really good reviews, I won't see them in theaters. But I will say, like I said, if they had just gone a little like 15 minutes longer, set up where they're going with chapter 2, I would have liked it significantly more. Because
I could see that.
I like your guys' points with what they're doing with chapter 2 and 3. It's just this movie itself didn't give enough of an excitement for the rest of the
Sure.
series. So it's like I just
Like
I
I
can
just
see that.
can't get excited for what they're doing. Like
Mhm.
That's fair.
And like the
That's-
movie itself, I don't know. It's just a whatever slasher. It's just not a slasher. It's whatever movie in general. I guess I can just say that. Or just a whatever kind of movie. Where the hell did my If poster go? The fuck?
you said it behind you.
I did. That is right. Okay. Anyway.
I was paying attention.
I got my grandma in If poster actually, because I was like, I got it when I saw The Strangers. I was like, I have no idea what I'll feel about this film, and typically, even if it's a movie, I'm like, I'll see that. I'm gonna see that like in the next couple of days. I'll get a poster for myself. If was one where I was like, I don't know, I don't really need a poster for this movie. I gave it to her. She loved If. Our theater sold little plushies of Blue and then the unicorn. In the movie, she picked up the unicorn one. She was very excited about that, and she showed our grandpa when we got home. She was like, "Look what I got at the theater." So she was happy. She loved the film. Really, even if I didn't, I'm glad she did, and that's really
Yeah.
what I hope
I
for
wish I
when I
would've
see
seen
a
it
film
with-
with her.
I wish I would have seen it with my grandma. But
Yeah.
I did watch it with my grandpa because we had gone
I
to see
honestly-
If was right next door. So we were like, yeah, it's just starting. Let's just get the fuck out. So
What
I
did he
would've
think
done
of
the-
Strangers?
Thankfully, I had time to
he
breathe
hated
for a little
it.
bit. Like the good thing is, like I had time to breathe for a little bit, like before If started.
Oh, you did the double feature, right?
I did, yeah. I did see both.
That's what I thought. I
that was
couldn't
on-
remember.
I kind
saw
of
both of them, yeah.
But
I like. Here's the thing, though. So after The Strangers got done, I got out and I was just waiting for Justin, and I was just like, oh my god, what in the actual fuck did I just watch?
yeah.
And that's not even that's not in a good way either. Like that's not in a good way.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh my god, let's just hope this is better.
That
Do
was
you
just
like the way you did it? For you guys, would you rather start with the movie you love and go into a movie you wouldn't like, or start with the movie you hate and go into
start
a
with
movie you
the
like?
movie you hate,
Start with the
because
one that's
Yeah.
bad and then go on
That's
to the next
exactly
one.
my
But the
point,
last,
'cause
like,
I know
couple
a
double
couple
features-
people- I know a couple
Like, the
people
last-
that want to start with the movie they would love and then go into hate, which I don't really understand that, but I have seen people
No,
on
like 'cause
Twitter
You want
wars
to
like
ruin
that
your
don't like
mood,
her.
then make it better.
Yeah.
You want to
Yeah,
ruin your day, then
That's what I
make
did
your
with-
day.
That's what I did
That's
with
exactly
Strangers.
what happened with If. That's
But
what
here's the
exactly
thing,
happened
though.
with
Like
If.
what I was going to
They
say,
made that day.
the last like couple of double features I've done are all movies I love.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So like they were all good ones. Like I did the first one, and I did Monkey Man, and then Ungentlemanly Warfare, and then Abigail. Like I loved all those movies.
I did. I've only done one double feature. I did it
Yeah.
for The Fall Guy, which I fucking loved. I love The Fall Guy, and then
Yes.
we
I
watched
love
Phantom
that.
Menace.
I would
which is
actually
fine.
think, funnily enough, though, you guys are not going to believe this. I actually thought about doing a double feature that night, but my mom had a closing going on, so I was just like, yeah, you know what? I'm not mad. I'll just go see The Fall Guy. I was going to do a double feature of Tarot and The Fall Guy.
Mm.
Like I was going to see Tarot first, and then I was going to go see The Fall Guy.
Have you seen Tarot? Have you guys seen
Nope,
Tarot yet?
I
did not watch it. I'm waiting until Netflix.
I watched clips and read
Yeah.
the synopsis, and I was just like, fuck.
I wanna
Yeah.
know, like, from what you've seen of course, you've seen most of Chapter 1 and
Mhm.
of Tarot, and you know a lot about Tarot. Which one do you think you would have enjoyed more, Tarot or Strangers?
I like Strangers. Yeah, a little bit.
I think I'd honestly go with Strangers, even though even though as we're talking about it, I'm actually starting to like the movie even less. Like,
Now the Terror
like, it's
was
starting
one
to
where I
piss
was
me
like,
off
what the
because
fuck?
like this film with how idiotic the characters are, it just pissed me off. Like,
That's completely fair.
The characters in Terror are way worse.
The
Like,
characters in Tarot are honestly stupider than they're stupider than the combined stupidity of the original movie characters and the Chapter 1 characters of the
oh
Strangers.
Mike, I don't think I've told you this. I told Mike this. The Tarot starts where like any other movie would be like 30 minutes in.
Yeah,
It throws you at a
you did tell me. You did tell me that.
it throws you in like at a campfire, and the characters are just joking around, and you're just supposed to know who they are.
Yeah,
I
it
just-
acts like you've
I don't
seen
think
this.
I don't think they'll be dumb. Like honestly, for me, for what I've seen out of the horror films, because again, I have not seen Tarot,
Mhm.
but out of the like other really shitty horror films I've seen this year, like which are Night Swim, yeah, but I'm sorry, Founder's Day, it sucks.
That's fine. I know it's
like, I
not.
think
Is it a great movie?
it's not.
No, I wasn't blown away by it. But there was one where I was like, I walked in thinking this is gonna suck probably, and I went out actually enjoying it for what it was.
Not for me. And Imaginary, which you guys already know my thoughts on. I've already talked about it ad nauseum. I fucking hate it. I think every single character in all three of those movies are fucking idiots. Like they're all dumb.
Yeah.
Like even the ones that like I don't care what you guys say. Even the ones in Imaginary are dumb as fuck. Like they're
No,
so
you're
dumb.
right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Like
Only reason I
especially-
gave it a
like, I
1.5
don't
out
care,
of 5
like,
is because
even
it's fucking
if, like-
hilarious. At least for me, I had a blast watching
Yeah.
Imaginary. I thought it was
like
the
seriously, even
funniest
like
thing I've
our
ever
main
seen.
character that we're supposed to root for, which is the stepmother, like our main character is one of the dumbest people I've seen walk the planet. Like seriously, like her character is so idiotic.
I mean, I wouldn't go that far. Is she stupid? Yeah, she has stupid moments, but I still wouldn't say she was like one of the like stupidest characters, especially of this year. Like, I think there were quite a few dumb characters in Abigail that were like almost to the level as her.
But
And I
but
like
at
Abigail.
least in Abigail, like you were having fun watching these characters. Like I gave their dumb decisions a pass because I was at least having fun watching their characters.
I mean, that's fair.
And seeing some of the shit they're going through. Like it's because again, yes, they made dumb decisions, but it didn't bother me. Like
See, that's that I will say
That was
is
me and Gab
one of
with
the most-
Strangers.
That is
Like-
one of the most interesting film parts of a lot of film discourse is what you see where like there will be something where like, oh yeah, the characters are so stupid, but I liked a lot of the stuff going on around it, so it's something I'm more like, okay, it wasn't great. I'll mark the film down for that, but I still overall had a good time. What made for The Strangers with you for Abigail, Luke, and I think that's I as I said, you know, that when you watched oh god, what was I think it actually was we were talking about The Strangers in the group chat, Mike, and you were like, sorry guys, I did not like The Strangers, and I was like, hey, you know, that is like the beauty of film is film is subjective, and it is such, you know, there truly can't be at least a lot of objectivity when it comes to film because everybody goes in expecting different things and everybody wants different things from it and they feel different things.
Everyone
So-
has a different experience with every movie.
Single movie, and that's what I think. And that's what I love about film, is what
Yeah.
comes with that.
Yeah.
Like this
Um,
movie, for an example, is fucking hated, but I have
We're
so
gonna
much
pull up
fun.
another
X-Men
fucking
Origins
Marvel movie.
Wolverine. It's objectively not a good movie, but I had such a fun time watching it that like I was like, this movie's dumb as hell, and it has so many issues that like I could probably make an hour-long video just about that, and I might one day if I need content.
and
Um,
Mike and I like we all have those kinds of movies that we know
Yeah.
are bad,
Mm-hmm.
but
Well, not
we-
even
we can
that.
still
It could
have
be a
fun with
movie
that.
where you're like, I see, like a lot of movies for me. I won't say like they're bad and I enjoy them. I would say, like If was one where it was kind of the opposite, where I was like, I don't like this movie, but I could see why people love it. I could see why people hate it, and that's a lot of films for me. Where if like, okay, there is like, is there objectivity when it comes to film? Absolutely, you can definitely say the editing of this movie was bad, the performances were bad. Yes, there is objectivity. Most critics, and I don't know if a lot of them would admit it, a lot of the scoring, they can say it all they want. It's not objective. It is
It's
purely
not. It's-
what you
it's-
got from the movie.
Right, but it is like if you slightly like it or you like it, that's a like. Like it's a recommend.
Right.
Yeah.
If you slightly dislike it or dislike it, that's a not recommend. There's no in between. There's not an okay. There's not a 50%. It's not what you score the movie. It's the average amount of critics that like or dislike the movie. And so it'll be an 83% is there's an
Majority of
83%
critics that
chance-
majority of critics enjoy it. If it's like a 30,
Yeah.
then majority of critics dislike it.
Yeah,
Right.
but 51 is even like more people would recommend it to you.
Right,
Right.
but it could also just be the number of people that thought it was just okay.
Yeah.
So
And that's exactly what I felt for If. I was like, I said, I closed on my review. I was like, listen, this movie was mediocre. I'll give it a mediocre score of a 2.5 out of 5. But this movie also wasn't for me. And I understand that. I think if some of you go in, you're either going to love this movie or you might hate it. It's one of those movies. And I think that's perfectly okay.
yeah, and that's what movies are. You either love them or hate them. I guess we can just go ahead and switch from
Or do we want to give like our personal scores on Strangers
Okay, yeah.
before going to If? Or
personal score. Let's just do out of 5 because that's what we all have as like a common scale for us on Letterboxd. And also,
Yeah.
I will say, adding on to that discussion about like Rotten Tomatoes and scoring and whatnot, Letterboxd has such a better scoring unit.
They're better on average scores.
So
Like,
much better.
I
Yeah,
appreciate,
like-
yeah.
yeah, because you can gauge what an okay score is. You can gauge what a great score
what a bad
is. You can
score,
gauge what a bad
also
score
what a
is.
terrible score is. Like
You can
Yes.
see the exact amount of people. Well, I of course, when it gets to like the couple 100,000s, it won't be necessarily always exact. You can see the amount of people who gave it a 3 out of 5 and thought it was okay. You can see the amount of people who gave it a 5 out of 5 and loved it. Like that's why I appreciate. That's why personally, I of course I use Rotten Tomatoes. I love Rotten Tomatoes. I'd love to be a certified critic on Rotten Tomatoes. But if there's a movie I'm more so on the fence on, I'm gonna gravitate more towards seeing what people think on Letterboxd because I can get a direct number. from there.
Letterboxd is more actual moviegoers than Rotten Tomatoes, just in my opinion.
Right. Yeah.
That is very
what-
true.
That is what it is. But overall scores, Gavin, go ahead.
I'm gonna give The Strangers, even after all of our discussions and everybody's fair points, I must say, I'm gonna give it a 3.5 out of 5 still. I like it. Does it have its issues? Yes, the 20 minutes aren't great. The first 20 minutes really drag it down. I didn't bring it up, but the first like tension scene that they released online, when there was at like Comic-Con of like Madeline Pelch by herself, I thought that dragged just a little bit too much. And then of course the characters made some dumb decisions that I couldn't really get behind. But overall, I enjoyed The Strangers for what it was. I had a good time. I'm actually one thing I thought halfway through the movie was I can't wait to rewatch this. I can't wait to show my friends it because we love, no matter the quality of the film, if we turn on a slasher or a horror film or something like that, when we turn it on, we're set for a couple of hours, we're gonna have a blast. And I think that was one of these movies where I was like, I can't wait to show it to them.
Gotcha. Yep.
that's fair.
Cam, go ahead.
Yeah. Because I do want to say, we all not we all disagree, but I know for a fact I like this movie the most out of the four of us.
Yeah.
And I disliked it the most. What?
Yeah. But all your guys' points made perfect sense. This was a movie when I walked out of the theater, I was like, I really liked it, but people are gonna hate it, and I know exactly why, and it makes perfect sense. I'm gonna give the movie a 4 out of 5.
Okay, that's fair.
Gotcha.
I just had a blast.
Yeah, I had a great time with it.
Yep. All right, Luke, go ahead.
Honestly, I originally gave this one a 1.5, but after all this discussion, honestly, it made me like this film less. So I'm gonna give it a 1 out of 5.
Fair
Yeah.
enough.
That is exactly my score. Even though I could, like, Chapter 2 could be semi-decent. What this movie gave me, at least, was just a really unpleasant time at the theaters, just sitting there uncomfortably annoyed at these
Sure.
awful characters' decisions, man. Like, these
Yeah, I was
characters,
really,
I
I was
couldn't
just
give
like,
less of a shit
I
about.
was just like there was actually quite a bit of times where I was just cringing.
I
Mhm.
will say, Luke, I forgot. Did you think the characters were smarter in the original film than this new one? I can't remember if you said that or not.
Let me get this clear.
Yeah.
Let me get this clear. The characters are idiots in the first film, but at least there was actually a sense of tension with that film. Like there was actually some like things that actually made you uncomfortable in your skin. Like and I actually was there for it.
I agree with that. I will say too, just to add on to that, the tension just makes it all the better in the first one. This one, you know every last plot beat that's going to happen if
Like
you've
you
seen
know
the
what's
first
coming.
one.
Like it's like,
Yeah,
like
if you know
you
what
know
happens in the
everything
first
that's coming
one.
from like a mile away.
Exactly. And also when it could be very tension based, when it could actually scare you, they got the boom, the loud ass jump scare noise.
Like
and
it's just a big jolt of music, and I'm just like, I could have done that better myself.
Yeah.
That's what I
And I don't say
appreciated
that,
with this.
Hold on. Let me preface. I don't say that to be an asshole or anything like that. I'm only saying that because, like, it's stuff I've seen a dozen times, and I'm tired of it. Like,
I totally do understand absolutely where you guys are coming from, and I think that is the biggest and one of the most interesting things about discussing horror films with people is we all find different things scary.
Mhm.
And I think I thought what they did with the strangers in this film was more scary to me, but it could be more scary to you, and that's
It's totally
absolutely it's absolutely fine. It's a movie. It's not that deep.
What I
But-
liked,
I mean, I will say, oh shit, I forgot what I was gonna say. Hold on, give me a minute. Yeah,
okay, well, while he's thanks.
Okay.
What I appreciated about chapter 1 a lot is that we knew the cliff notes in the major points because it's a remake, so obviously we're gonna know. But I liked even just the subtle changes in between the big, like, we all knew the characters would be tied up, strangers would be in front of them by the end of the movie. We knew no matter what happened from the start of the movie to when they got to that point, they could fight as hard as they want, they will be taken by the strangers. But I liked the parts, like I like the cliff notes a lot. There are little bits and pieces of the original Strangers that I also do really like that are included in here.
They kept the best parts of the original.
And we knew the cliff notes going in, but it was the stuff they changed that made it getting to those points better to me.
That's what made it scary to me is the stuff they changed. And while I totally do see where you guys are coming from, where it wasn't as it wasn't as tense as it was for you guys because you knew the plot points. But I feel like that could be said about a lot of horror remakes, except for Friday the 13th, because that one's built different.
Yeah.
And that one just isn't. It's like its entirely own thing, and I do appreciate that. But I feel
It's kind of not its own thing.
it's not even a remake actually, but
both literally and metaphorically built different.
Yeah. But like I don't know if I would actually like it's kind of just a meaner version of the first four films crammed together.
Yeah.
I agree.
yeah.
We're talking about, for anyone who could be confused, we're talking about Friday the 13th
Friday the
in that
13th.
analogy,
Yes.
just to make it more sense. And I do, as I said, I do see where you guys are coming from with that statement, but also I feel like that can be true for most horror remakes. But the ones I feel like are an exception are the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which is a fucking awesome remake, and then Friday the 13th. One of my favorite horror remakes, if not my favorite horror remake, is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. From what was it? Was it 03?
Yeah.
03?
Yep.
Okay, yeah. I love that movie. I think that movie
My favorite
awesome.
Yeah, my favorite horror remake, which is funny because it's in my all-time favorite horror franchise, is the Child's Play remake, simply because it's not trying to copy any of the other ones, and it's new. It's
Like,
its own
a new
thing.
spin. Like,
It's not really a Child's Play movie. It just has the name. But I thought that was nice because while I binged through the entire franchise and going into Child's Play, the remake, and just it being something new was really fun for me because like
We
I
watched
didn't
that
know what to
together.
expect.
Yeah, we watched that together, and we were like, people don't really like this one. It's gonna be interesting." And it ended, and we were like, "What the hell? That was good. It was what a remake should be, regardless of execution. It was different. It brought something new to the table.
but
Plus-
to be fair though,
Plus,
like, everybody's
Chucky came back like 2 years later with the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also, you guys also do have to admit that the look of Chucky in the remake is terrible.
I like it.
I like it. I don't mind
think
it.
I think it's dog shit.
It's
worse
not
than the original. Yes,
it's
but
not the best Chucky look.
It's different, and it fit the movie it was in. And I'll be damned, there were a couple of shots in there, like specifically when he's in the corner of Andy's room and he's like replaying the cat's noises. I was creeped out, and I thought this design had its moments.
But other than that, like, big issue for me, other than that issue of the doll look, I love that remake.
It's
Yeah,
a great remake.
I really do. I love the remake.
we should probably get to If.
Okay, real quick. Strangers Chapter 1, another huge issue. Horribly, what's the word? Advertised. Horribly advertised.
Yeah,
Holy shit. This is not how the strangers became the strangers.
it's not. That was such
That
bullshit.
not-
tagline sucks.
That-
I knew walking
Yeah,
into that movie
yeah,
that is
yeah.
not what the I walked into that movie and I was like, that's not what the tagline is. That's a stupid tagline.
I did
One,
too.
It's not a one. It's not a prequel. It cannot be a prequel.
We were
Because of all the
halfway-
technology in the film.
Yeah. We were
It can't be
halfway
prequel.
into The Strangers. I was like, that tagline was such bullshit.
Yeah, he leaned over to me and he said that. But a couple things. One, it's not an origin story for the Strangers. Two, it's not a prequel to the Strangers. The tagline, I think the marketing was fun for the movie. A lot of the stuff they did with like security cams and like stalking, I liked what they did that, and I liked the trailer for the most part. Oh my god, that tagline was just use the tagline they had on the trilogy poster they released at San Diego at Comic-Con, which was just it always started with a knock. Just
Yeah.
use that one. That's so much better.
I was literally we were like 40 minutes into the movie. I was cackling to myself. I was like, we're not knowing how the strangers became the strangers.
Maybe in the next one,
No.
not in this one. And I kind of
But-
hope because my mom was
But-
like, it was so funny because my mom, because she didn't watch the original Strangers. One thing she said is she was like, I really wish we knew what they're doing and what their motive is. And I was like, well, one thing, Mom, that's not like the point of the Strangers. And two, I was like, and two, there are 2 more coming out. And she's like, oh yeah. And then I was like, and chapter 2 comes out this fall. You want to see it? And she went, hell no, that was scary. Because apparently halfway through the movie, I look over, she's like this in her seat. Because she gets scared at most horror films. And Camden leans over to me and he goes, she just said, you can't, she just said tough shit about the next one, you're not seeing it. So I was like, all right.
But we should probably get into If.
We
now.
probably should get into it.
Okay,
now.
We're an hour 20 in. We haven't even talked about that yet.
Real quick.
There's a lot to say about the
I'm gonna
Strangers,
go
more
grab
than I
some
thought there
grub.
would be.
I'm gonna go grab some grub. I gotta get some for my mom, so I'll do that.
Oh,
We lost a Ponto. Okay.
oh, there he is.
back.
Okay. I will let you guys discuss this. I will be right back though. I gotta go drop off something for my mom and get some grub.
All right.
Go ahead.
I say, Luke, you go ahead. You start this off.
Well, I think that's because I'm the one that enjoyed it the most. So
I mean, and we
Okay.
did start.
I
Oh.
swear this is movie court because we got a defendant and a lawyer, and then a defendant and a lawyer over here.
I will
like,
say this.
we're the defendants over here.
I will say the fact.
No,
that
he means like you're the defender, Mike's the lawyer for the
Yeah.
like people who like the movie. Gav's the defender. I'm the lawyer for people who don't.
And
Yeah.
also it kind of flip flops for these 2 movies, but yeah.
It is interesting
That's
how
super
our
funny.
takes are very similar
Yeah.
in regards to these films. But I also I feel like you should start because we started with The Strangers. So
Well, I guess that's actually mostly fair. So,
yeah, go ahead. Let's hear it.
well, honestly, let me just say this: when I heard that John Krasinski was making a new movie, like I am a huge fan of John Krasinski, like not just as an actor but as a filmmaker. I love the man to no end. And I saw that he was making a kids movie. I was like, this is new. This is definitely something I wasn't expecting from John Krasinski because I
From
love
the director of A Quiet Place.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that because I love those 2 films.
Haven't seen
Like,
them
I
yet.
love those 2 so much. Like, they're some of my favorite horror films. Like, honestly, of all time.
Sweet.
Like, they're both awesome. So when I saw that he was making a kids movie and it starred none other than Ryan Reynolds, I was like, okay, I'm interested. And then when I saw Bob Marley, One Love, I finally saw the full trailer and I was like, I have no idea where this movie's gonna go, but I'm very interested.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously I did a double feature. I saw The Strangers and then I saw this. Because The Strangers, I was just like, oh my god. Like, I honestly almost considered just going home because I was already so pissed off with what I watched.
Sure.
Because I was just like, you know what? Fuck it. I already paid for my ticket. I'll just go.
It's funny that we were kind of opposites in there because halfway through If, I was thinking, I wish I was rewatching The Strangers right now. So that's kind of funny.
Well, I haven't really felt that way about it, like, in regards to, like, once, like, if I was doing a double feature, like, out of the ones I've done, like, I never really felt like, okay, like, after the first one, I was like, I want to just go home. But then I was like, oh, wait a minute, I paid for my ticket.
Mm-hmm.
During Phantom Menace, I just wanted to go rewatch Fall Guy.
Yep, same.
There you go. See, there's that. But that's why that's why if I was to do another double feature with like a bad one, like if I was getting bad reviews, I would usually just start with that one first, so that way it's not a mood killer.
Yeah, and then you can cleanse your palate with the film you're most likely to like.
Exactly, like the one we're talking about right now. So I just stayed in. I sit down and I was just like, let's just hope this is better. And as soon as we get like to present day in regards to this, where this film is taking place, I was like, okay, I like where this is going. I like some of the adult themes that they're touching on here about, growing up, grief, all that kind of things. I like where they're going. But then once the imaginary friends come into picture, I was like, okay, this is getting better. I really like where this is going. Like, I just thought this, like, and also what I really loved, like, about, like, the ifs that they use in this, that they actually, but my only slight problem with this film, let me actually just get that clear from the get-go. My only slight problem with this film, I wish they developed more of the ifs. There's only two that they develop, which are Blossom and Blue. Those are the only two they develop throughout the entire movie.
Those are really the only two they do anything with.
Which, again, like, don't get me wrong, I love those characters. Like, I love Blossom and I love Blue, for sure. I love those two characters.
I will say, I thought it was kind of stupid that they, like, I know they make a joke about it, but the fact that he was named Blue was kind of obnoxious to me.
I thought that was clever. Like, I thought it was funny.
I predicted the joke, but also it's not very nuanced one. Which,
but again, though, I mean, if it but again, though, like, to me, it's just because it was Steve Carell making the joke, I thought it was funny. Like, I don't think any other actor could have portrayed that better than Steve Carell. Like, in my opinion, at least. And then towards the end of the movie, I get choked up, which Cam and I were actually having this discussion on the phone a little while ago before we hopped on stream, that you can call me a softie all you want, but there are times I actually really do get choked up, like, in movies. Like, I don't know why. They just make it easy. Like, they make it easy for me to choke up. Like,
there are just certain movies that just really resonate with people and just really tug on their heartstrings.
Exactly. I mean,
and that's great that there are movies like that that can just connect with people so, like, intimately.
Everything Everywhere All at Once did that for me a lot. Every time I watch that movie, I cry my little ass off, and it's every single.
Oh my god!
And that's every time I watch the movie.
Hi, Mike.
It's the rock sequence that always makes me bawl. So there are those. There is all those movies moments. I will admit, the part that really kept me from giving it like a 2 out of 5 or something like that was those like emotional moments in the If were very well done.
Yeah, I mean, but again, though, I like that they didn't like. Again, I know you feel differently, which, again, fine. Like, I get that. I like that they didn't always just lean into the kid demographic of this movie. They also leaned into appealing to the adult demographic in regards to the themes they touch upon of like grief.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. I like that they did a lot, but a lot of this stuff, I was like, I don't know, because especially the audience they were marketing the film to, I was like, I don't know if the kids going to see this movie are really gonna get it.
I think this movie was mismarketed.
I agree.
I would say that the trailer was misleading.
Was not in the movie.
Going into the movie, I had zero idea that they were trying to get the ifs back to their original kids.
Because her dad was even in the movie.
Yeah, I had no idea John Krasinski was like a human character in the movie.
Okay.
I thought Ryan Reynolds was her dad.
Me too.
Okay, here's my thing.
But again, though, I like what they did with that. They tried to mess with you a little bit.
Yeah, here's my thing too, though. what Gavin said about how this like isn't really for the target demographic. Pixar movies do this all the time. Like
Exactly. Thank
Oh.
you.
That's fair.
yeah, like Up, you would not have expected that
Soul.
first 15
Soul does that.
that first 15 minutes of Up. You would not expect that from a kids animated movie. That is the saddest piece of media I've ever fucking seen.
You want to know another one that's definitely not for like that can be for kids, but for the most part, it is not for kids. In regards to the Pixar movies, that'd be Soul. Like that movie is not for the kids.
I will say there were some, but again, I think it's the fact that Soul knew what it had, and they showed that to people before watching it. Especially because it feels like a movie that I don't know, they're probably gonna take like at most like maybe a 6-7 year old too, at least from what I got from the trailers and the posters and the marketing of all that stuff, especially the stuff with the showcase at the mom, which I at the beginning of the film, which I liked that they didn't say anything about it. And they just kind of showed that she was in the hospital, then she lost her hair, and they progressively showed you what the stages of it through the eyes of the kid. I did appreciate that, but I still feel like a lot of the stuff that like what's happening with her dad and what happened to her mom, I feel like a lot of it would go over the target demographic. Not for me, it was great, and I liked what they were doing, but I feel like because even Pixar films, they still showcase it in a way, and they still visualize it in a way that could apart from Soul and apart from the opening sequence and Up, I feel like they visualize it in a way that a kid could somewhat pick up on it.
Well, like also like the Soul trailer showed a guy falling through the sewer and like waking up as a ghost.
Yeah, so you knew what you were getting with Soul. I feel like that was one of the bigger, not a negative, because it was the marketing of the movie, not the actual movie. It's just something they maybe would have wanted to showcase, but it's not a complaint with the movie, because...
Yeah, but yeah, let's let them talk about their thoughts before we get pretty windy into ours.
Real quick, I would like to ask, would you all like to meet my if?
Would love to.
I know.
Okay.
I think I know what it is.
No, you don't know what it is.
Oh,
It's Mr. Fan over here.
oh wow.
Oh,
Hi, Mr. Fan.
Hello.
I was gonna say, what are you talking about? Oh,
Okay, but continue with what you were saying, Luke.
Yep, go ahead.
okay. So yeah, like I said, I got pretty choked up in the end. Like I wasn't expecting to. I was like, okay, I might walk out of this with a big smile on my face, like with some of the most recent animated films I watched in the theater, but no, this one actually got me. Like, and there's actually quite a few moments, like in regards to Kaylee Fleming's, like not just like her personality, but like what she was going through, that I actually kind of related to. In regards, to,
There was
grief.
a lot in there where I was like, ooh, like I
I actually related to it. Like
I never started tearing up, but I was like, ooh, okay, yeah, I can see what they're doing here, and I did feel, but there was never a point where I was like, I started to cry, but I was like, I loved what they did with that ending. Well, some of the ending where she was with her dad in the hospital and she told her the story that he wanted her to write, and then I think they kind of ruin it with like the twist about Ryan Reynolds' character in the film.
Which makes zero fucking sense.
It does.
I thought it made sense. Like,
It makes sense.
Point,
It's kind of weird that her imaginary
No, yeah, I'll get to my
I'll
get to
40-year-old man.
Yeah. I want to get
dresses up like a clown. At least in the way they visualize it. It's a little strange.
The way that they visualize it is a little weird. But I will say, what they did with the twist, I thought was great, because it makes sense that this kid would have forgotten about her imaginary friend. And this imaginary friend is trying to get back with her, because that's what they're trying to do the whole time in the movie, is trying to get back with their kid. But he doesn't know how to do it. And that's why he wanted to be with Kaylee Fleming, because he thought that she was able to actually like get all this done, and she was, and then just never really got the point to her that I'm your imaginary friend, kid. Like,
I like
the twist for me made sense, but it just didn't make sense to me that it was visualized as Ryan Reynolds, because based on the entire world we saw of If, that was the only human If. So it was like her If is just a guy.
Yeah, I will say I like the concept of the twist. I just think the execution was a little iffy. on it, but I get that wasn't even intentional. God damn it, guys.
You did that to yourself there, dude. Just
But
like
I liked the concept. I didn't like the execution very much at all. But I will say, apart from the ending, the scene that really got me is I forgot it was Blue's old if in the office scene. I really liked that sequence a lot. I was like, that's good. I liked that scene quite a bit.
That one got me, dude.
Those were the two scenes in the movie where I was like, okay, I actually like what they're doing. But other than that, I thought the comedy was just
I'm about to
painfully
start crying.
Yeah, their thoughts. Remember?
Well, Cam, fun fact, it's a spoiler discussion.
But yeah,
and there's
we
four
went
of us,
we
so
went really
dive through it.
we went really heavy-handed with strangers, so I want to give them a chance to voice all their thoughts.
Mhm.
Right. So.
But y'all are about to get me fucking crying again because that scene made me fucking.
Yeah, that one it got me too, bro.
It was a
I
good
can't
scene.
lie.
It was so sweet.
Like,
But yeah,
like you and I were having that that discussion, like I think it was yesterday actually. We were having that discussion, like that you were so cold hearted. Like,
yeah. I was
we were
making
having that
a joke,
discussion
though.
yesterday, and
We
I
called
was
him a
like,
softie.
"What?"
I was making a joke though because I called you a softie, and you're like, "Shut the fuck up."
I could mean if you guys want to call me softy for what movies I cry at, go ahead. I don't care. It's just they're the ones that hit me, okay? Like
Yeah.
that's all I can say about it. Like, but yeah, I mean this one really got me, dude. Like,
Yeah.
and
This
you
actually
guys-
got my grandpa.
actually, I want to say this. If you guys missed the after credits,
Oh,
I
I
actually
did.
teared up even more of the after credits.
Oh, I didn't even know there was after credits.
I know that.
Grant
I
told
just
me
left.
that there was, so I stayed.
Oh,
So
I had
it
zero
was
clue there was.
actually, believe it or not, it was actually like a little after credits involving Louis the Bear, who was
Aw.
voiced by Louis Gossett Jr.
Mm.
Because Louis Gossett Jr. recently has passed away. So they did like a little tribute after credits to Louis Gossett Jr.
oh, okay.
So yeah, that actually, like, I was just like, no. I
Wait,
forgot he passed.
did they like make like a whole nother part of the like a whole nother scene, or was it just like in that?
No, it was just a little like a little small compilation with the bear. Like,
Oh, okay. So we didn't really miss a whole lot. Okay.
no, it was just a small little compilation, and it said "in loving memory of Louis Gossett Jr."
Gotcha. Yeah,
And dude, that actually made me tear up. Like,
that is really sad. But
I didn't
yeah,
even know
just,
he
so yeah, may
passed
he rest
away.
in peace.
I didn't either, honestly.
He passed away back in March, so
Oh.
from when I found out. So yeah, may he rest in peace.
What's
Yeah.
else that they had a
I
tribute
love
to?
Louis Gossett Jr.
Yeah, rest in peace to him. His if was my favorite. Not even lying.
Yeah, mine too.
I think even though he didn't really have much development, I think it was the superhero guy that's voiced by Sam Rockwell.
Oh, the dog.
He was fucking hilarious.
The superhero dog.
Yes, and well, I also of course love Blue and Blossom. Of course I love those two.
Blue was fucking
Like-
adorable, dude. I want to get like a Patrick-sized plushie of Blue. He was so fucking cute. But no, my favorite. God, if I can pick one,
Like there's a lot.
probably the Inspector one.
He was fun.
Like
yeah, I
the
liked
one,
him.
the one you don't see his face on. You don't see his face.
It was like, hey,
Like
right
he
at
was
the
always
end,
just so
Hi
upset.
again, Danny, and the dude was like, ah!
But I also loved I cannot lie, even though it's given in the trailer, I just thought he was so adorable as the marshmallow guy.
Which eye do you look at? Don't look him in the eyes. Which one? You know damn well.
which one?
That was the only sequence was the only time I laughed in the movie.
Yeah,
Damn
I was
well.
like, because it's just Ryan Reynolds, and he knows what he's doing.
It's just Ryan Reynolds being funny. It's just him being him.
don't
He is
hold on. Don't look him in the eye.
Which one?
You know damn well which one.
And then the eye falls off, and it's like,
Like,
yeah.
like bro, they should have also like kept this in because it's also a piece like a little line of dialogue that's in the marketing, but they never keep that in the movie, which I thought was kind of a missed opportunity. He was like, "Yeah, that's just gonna grow right back."
Oh.
And I was just like, "Come on, man! You should have kept that in the movie. That's funny." But easily my favorite was the little superhero guy voice that was voiced by Sam Rockwell. Like,
The dog one.
Mhm.
yeah, like
Yeah.
I thought it was so funny. Like, I mean, it's Sam Rockwell. I mean, like a lot of the delivery from Sam Rockwell, like whenever it's like comedic delivery, I'm pretty much guaranteed to laugh. Like, because I feel like Sam Rockwell is just perfect at his comedic delivery,
Yeah.
in my opinion. Like, I think he's just perfect at that.
Anyways, though, that basically summed up everything that I was gonna say. Though was with that, it's just such a sweet movie. I don't.
Yeah, and
fair.
it truly warmed me. So like,
Yeah, that's great. I'd go first.
Honestly, if a movie not only warms my heart but actually gives me a good actually makes me tear up,
Mhm.
there's a good chance I'm gonna pretty much give it a high score. Like,
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it made me and my grandpa both cry.
I thought you said you weren't gonna take your grandpa to see that.
I wasn't, but we were right next to we were right next to when we were watching Strangers, so we were like, yeah, let's just go over there. And it was like right after the opening bit, so it was like we missed like the opening bit of the mom dying, but it was
Well,
that
I
was-
also kind of missed a little montage of of B actually as a younger girl, like actually.
well that,
being
yeah
with,
that's,
like,
that's
the-
the
the-
mon-
that's the
fun
montage
memories
with the
that she
mom
made with
dying.
the family.
yeah that's the montage.
That's the montage with the mom
Yeah.
dying.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
just how
that
the
was-
montage ends.
Yeah, it was like right around when the montage ended. It was like when she goes to the. Actually, no, I don't
Yeah,
think it
you
was
didn't
right
miss
after.
much,
It
though.
was like right when she goes to the hospital for the first time.
Yeah.
to see her dad.
That part gave me fucking whiplash because I was like, oh, this is a cute moment. And I was like, holy shit, John Krasinski's in this. I was like, this is so cute. And then I was like, wait, hospital. And then it's like, holy shit, they're killing the mom.
Oh no!
Yeah,
Deep
that
cut there, right? Deep
yeah.
cut.
yeah, that is. But yeah, I went there with my grandpa, and he's even said though. I asked him like we went to go get Burger King right afterwards, which is Burger King's not great, but whatever. We went to go eat. And I sat down and we were eating, and I said, "So, what's your favorite movie that you've seen with me this year?" And he said, "You know, it's kind of hard to remember all of them because we've seen so many, but right off the top of my head, If is up there." I was like,
I mean, currently for me, it's my number 11 right now. So,
That is
Why?
really sick that you
and
like
I
because
know
I
what
do very similar.
I know what some people might be thinking in regards to where I have it placed, because I have it placed over some like the Fall Guy, Challengers, and stuff like that. Like, look, If just hit me in the right spot. Like,
to be fair, I would probably rewatch this before I rewatch something like Challengers, but I mean, I totally get that.
I mean,
like
I will
if
say,
a movie hits me in the right spot, then again, it's probably not only is it going to get a high score, it might go high up on the list.
I will
Yeah.
say
Like,
it is
for
pretty
me,
sick
for
that
me.
you especially like take your like grandpa to see films because I do like the same
Yeah.
exact thing with my grandma because I saw Lisa Frankenstein with her, which she loved. I saw Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 2 with her, which scarred her.
Saw that with my grandpa.
Nice. Yeah, I see a lot. I saw Challengers with her,
Yeah.
which again, that movie ended. It's directed by Luca Guadagnino, and she went, "That was fucking awesome." She loved it.
But
so.
I'm actually not gonna lie. I mean, you guys know me. I take Justin to every movie now, like that I mostly go to. I take him to movies now.
Right, yeah. But like my grandpa, he is always down to watch movies, and then afterwards he'll even say though, like I didn't hear much about this one, not really sure what it's about, and I'll like just describe it to him, and he's like, okay, yeah, that sounds kind of cool. And then we watch it, and it's just like, yeah, that was fucking.
Like
dope.
I don't even like have to like with Justin though. I don't even have to describe anything to him. Like he's just like, hey, what do you want to go see next? And I'm like, whatever's next up, and then we just go see it. I mean,
I think
Holy
the first,
shit, Luke, that's a Deadpool poster. Fuck, that's my first time seeing that.
I think the first
shit.
time.
what me?
Holy
Yeah,
shit.
you got a Deadpool poster.
Oh, right there. Yeah.
Let's fucking go.
It's a printed one.
Let's
I have
fucking
I have
go.
a printed one of 1 and 2 in my basement. So
But I
y'all
wanted to
should-
say though, for just for this one though.
Sorry, little. I was like,
you
holy
caught
shit,
me-
something
you caught me
Marvel.
off there, bro.
Boom,
Thank you
attention.
very much,
I-
Sam.
I think the
Maybe
first
you
movie I saw with
fucking-
my grandparents was, or with my grandma, was The Exorcist Believer was the first one, because I remember I was sitting down in the theater with her, and she said, I think I may have saw this one, the first movie, when it like first came out, or something. She saw it in like with the first couple years of its release. It was either at home, it was either in the theater, I don't remember, she doesn't remember, but she watched it, and she there was another one where she just loved it, and when Ellen Burstyn showed up, she was just like, oh wait, I know her. And my favorite memory of that, because that's what really kicked off us going to the cinema so much, is when at the end, when all of the like different religions merge together to like end, and that's not, and the best part, she leans over, taps my shoulder, and she goes, this is the best part of the movie. And she's just
Oh my god.
My
no.
favorite theater
she was
memory
so
with my
immersed,
grandma.
and I loved it. And
Yeah.
I even if, regardless of the quality of the film, even though I enjoy it, the fact that she loved it and the fact that we had a blast watching that fucking movie, worth it.
That,
Yeah, but I
okay,
wanted to
that would
say
make
that
me
my
like
favorite
the
theater
movie
memory that
more,
I.
honestly.
But funnily enough, though, the first movie, like, ironically enough, it was a bad one, and I saw with Justin first. I saw Insidious: The Red Door with him. That was actually the first movie we saw together.
Mm.
But from what I can recall, though, my favorite theater memory that him and I have had together was probably with Saw X, the first
Oh.
viewing. That's because I saw it twice.
Mhm.
Like I think it was the leg cutting scene, like with the string.
Oh yeah, the like
He,
mini
he
Saw.
was like cringing, like, and he was just like trying to just continuously look away. And like every single time he tried looking away, I just kept turning over to him like, "Bitch, you look at that screen." Like,
Nah,
like,
my
bitch, you
favorite.
turn
My
your head
favorite
and you look at that screen.
honestly,
And then he's
I
like,
don't-
and then at another point, he turns to me and he goes, "Bro, I cannot handle this."
honestly, my two favorite theater memories with my grandpa was If, because we did not like The Strangers at all, and he was like, "Okay, yeah, fine, we can go see it. We can go see If and whatever." And I was just like, "Yeah." So we stuck over there, and he was like, "Oh my god, you had such the right idea to just go watch this fucking movie because it was just so good."
I will say real quickly, I don't know if the release date was announced. First Omen started streaming on Hulu May 30th, with May 28th being the digital release.
And I will be
for-
and I will be rewatching it, man.
I will be watching it for the first time. I'm very excited to watch it.
Nice.
Hey, I actually want to, like, actually, guys, I actually want to watch it with you guys. Like, I really
yeah,
do.
I'd be down too.
I'm down.
Because I love that movie so much. Like,
Mhm. The second theater memory that I really loved seeing with him was Thanksgiving, because technically we've seen it kind of twice in theaters, because he loved it. We saw it the weekend it came out, and he was like, "Man, that might be like my favorite slasher movie." And I was like, "Wow!" Like he
I can't
was
blame
like,
him for that, though. I gave that one 5 stars too. I love that.
okay, yeah, but that was like, you know, it's not like the first horror movie we saw in theaters or anything like that. But he's been around.
So there's that, yeah.
Yeah, he's been around for so long. He watched like the Friday the 13th movies in the theaters. He watched Nightmare on Elm Street in the theaters. Like, he's seen so many of these movies, and it's just like, for him to say like Thanksgiving, the one that we saw together, was his favorite. Like, that's just really cool.
Yeah.
And then we saw it again, or started watching it a second time, and he was like, "Oh man, I can't wait to watch it again, because I want to like pinpoint, you know, like if this is like what John Carver's body build is like. Yeah. John Carver's body build is like in this, like, you know, in this scene to the next scene, and then compare it to the actual guy that's John Carver." And I was like, "Yeah, that was actually cool." And then they shut down the movie because no one bought tickets. So
Yeah, I have 3 favorite memories of taking my grandma to the movies. First one is I took her to see the first Sonic movie when it came out, and she was into it. She loved it, and it was in the final battle. Sonic started like bouncing off the walls and into Robotnik's ship, and my grandma just went, "Yeah, fuck him up," in a theater full of kids. Second memory was I took her to see the Marvels in theaters because I loved it so much the first time that I went to see it again with her like a week later, and that same week I also went and saw it a third time like 2 days after. And it was when Monica was closing the incursion, and Captain Marvel was flying through when like it closed. Captain Marvel missed, and my grandma's favorite character in that movie was Monica, and my grandma just said, "What the fuck? No!" And then she was crying for the rest of it. And I was like, "We find out where she went in the end credit scene." And she was like, "Well, we're fucking staying." And I was like, "Okay, sure." And then, but my all-time favorite is when we saw Across the Spider-Verse.
Oh yeah.
It was
Oh,
so funny because me and her were probably the most like into it because I went with like my whole family and then one of Gab's friends, and we went and saw it, and me and my grandma were hooked. We were locked in the whole time, and so it cut to black. We were both at the edge of our seats. And it was when it was the theater was packed too, and it was right when we had the silence with the black before it cut to the credits. My grandma looked at me and she just said, "What the shit?"
I would have looked at her and just said, "That's it."
Yeah, she said, "What the shit?" I was like, "Well,
I
Jesus."
wanted to point out- I actually want to point out another funny memory.
Yeah, in just a sec, I want to finish up mine real quick. But like,
Okay,
because and I was like, "Well, this is like the first part. There's gonna be another one in a couple years." And she was like, "Well, I hope I'm still kicking when that comes out." I'm like, "Jesus."
She said that same thing about The Exorcist Deceiver. She was like, "Is there gonna be more?" And I was like, "There's actually one coming out in 2025. This is when it wasn't delayed." Yeah, I was like, "There's another one coming out called The Exorcist Deceiver coming out. What was it, April 2025, something like that?" And she was like, "I hope I don't croak then." And I was like, "Gee, you gotta stop saying that."
Oh, jinx yourself, Grandma.
But yeah, hopefully she makes it to Beyond the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
Whenever that's coming out.
Anyways, though, what did you two think? The other.
I still have one more I
Yeah,
wanted to share.
Luke has one more memory real quick.
Okay, so it was. I told this on the review that I did for Lisa Frankenstein. Well, actually, no. This is a different story. So when we were watching Lisa Frankenstein, I think it was I'm trying to remember. It was one of the scenes by the graveyard. I remember that distinctly. Yeah. When the guy that Lisa was hanging out with at the party earlier on in the movie, it's kind of given in the trailer, so I'm not really spoiling anything. So he gets his hand cut off, like. So by that point, Justin turns to me, like I'm not even joking you. He turns to me and he's like, "Bro, this movie's fucking weird."
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's right.
I mean,
It's a
it
weird-ass
is, but
movie.
it's like it's the weird, it's the good kind of weird, honestly, like when we saw Saw X, and like those kinds of I think that might have been the goriest one we saw besides Thanksgiving. I honestly thought that because of the fact that Abigail was reason for gore throughout in the reasoning, I was like, "Oh God, he's not going to handle this."
That was
Like-
kind of different gore, I'd say, to the other films, where that one was just a lot of blood happening and like severed limbs, whereas like it was full on like not gratuitous gore, I would say, as the
But
necessarily
it's still,
for, at
it's
least.
still.
It was
To be
visceral.
fair, though, it's still
It was visceral in
very
Thanksgiving
gory.
and Saw, where it was more bombastic and cartoony.
It was people
Abigail, which
blowing
I
the
think
fuck up.
Which I think is easier to handle, at least for my experience and from people I know, especially my mom who hates gore. And when we saw Abigail together, she was like, "The gore." I was like, "It's rated for gore throughout." And she was like, "Oh shit!" And then we watched it, and she was like, "It wasn't that bad." And I just think it's how much it's used and how bombastically they
Or
present
how,
it.
Well, with the bodies exploding,
Like
that's pretty
Renfield.
bombastic. Like,
yeah. Or also like how it's supposed to play in is like disturbing, possibly.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
Like like Abigail, it's just played for laughs. Like there's like the vampires exploding everywhere. It's
It's
fun.
like
Yeah.
it's
Well,
like
like,
the
once
gore in
they
Renfield,
explode,
where it's very
but the thing
bombastic,
is,
over the
though,
top shit.
when they the first time I saw it though, like when they exploded, I didn't expect it. Like
Exactly. Yeah. It's just like funny as shit too. It's just like randomly.
I was just like, oh,
shit. It's just like whenever they just pop into the sun, like with Dan Stevens' character, he's just like, oh shit.
No, that was the stake. That was the stake for Dan Stevens.
Oh well, still.
We're talking about
it-
Catherine Newton's for
yeah, okay,
Sun.
yeah. Catherine Newton, Dan Stevens gets hit by the stake. Same thing, though.
I mean, they both get blown the fuck up anyways.
Well,
So.
yeah, it's like still the same shit. You
I
get
think
stabbed
like
by
when
the stake
Dan
and-
Stevens blows up, he was like, "Oh shit, boom!" Like,
That-
and I was just like, "Oh
yep,
shit!"
boom. Yep, that's exactly what I said. Yeah, that was funny.
And like that was funny. Like that was funny as hell. And
hmm
actually, funnily enough, before we get to Cam and Gavin's thoughts, again, I'm sorry I'm cutting you guys off.
No, you're fine.
Cam, you know this because you and I talked about this earlier.
Mhm.
If there's ever a convention, like I'm not joking you, if there's ever a convention that Dan Stevens is a part of, I'm going. Like I don't care. Like no one's gonna stop me. I am gonna go.
hmm
Like I'm gonna meet Dan Stevens.
Yeah.
Because
I have a giant ass Abigail poster now that's like fucking insanely. It is huge. It's the same size as the Immaculate one I sent you guys in the group chat a couple months back. Same size as that one. That'd be dope to have like the whole cast sign the Abigail poster. That'd be pretty sweet.
I would even like if I got like honestly like I could even get him to sign like a copy of like Godzilla X Kong though.
I actually can't believe that Jacob got to meet Catherine. That was so cool.
It was so cool, and his story about it too is just like how she's such a freaking homie, and then taking pictures with her, and he's got his arms like wrapped around her like a.
I was like,
bear.
oh
I was like,
man, dude.
Yeah, that was cool.
See,
I was
people would
jealous,
show up
man.
for Catherine and they'd be like, "Oh, freaky, Lisa Frankenstein, Abigail." My bitch ass would be like, "Ant-Man."
Actually, I'd want her to get her to sign my Freaky Blu-ray. That's my favorite performance of her. I fucking love
I
that.
actually
Freaky's
like.
great.
I would have gotten like
Amazing.
honestly, I would have gotten an extra copy of Lisa Frankenstein and have her sign that. Like I'm not even joking.
I mean, I would just have him like sign the slipcover.
I'd
That's what I would
find
do.
I'd find an obscure ass Ant-Man comic with Cassie Lang in it and have her sign. Because like when I went to Comic-Con and met Greg Sipes at the convention, I went to a booth, bought fucking Iron Fist number 20 just so I could have a comic for him to sign.
Should we get back to If now?
Yeah. Gav,
Gav,
you cool if I go first? I might have less to say. So
You'd be surprised. But go ahead.
okay. I did not like If. Like at first I did, but the more I thought about it, the less I liked it.
Mhm.
I thought the movie was kind of mismarketed because it was more marketed as like a fun family comedy with Ryan
That was not what that
Reynolds
was.
and everyone else in this stacked as hell cast.
Everyone else.
Yeah. I literally couldn't think of another actor to save my life except for Ryan. Like,
John Krasinski.
yeah, that guy.
Yeah, that-
Sam Rockwell. Sam Rockwell will save your life.
Yeah. But
Quite literally, he's a superhero.
yeah.
Yes.
But my biggest problem with the movie is that I didn't find it funny.
Oh, it was painfully unfunny.
Like, even Ryan Reynolds, who I think is hilarious and everything I've seen in him, wasn't funny except for like one scene when they were interviewing candidates.
I gotta give
Outside
him-
of that,
He was struggling with that material.
outside of
gotta-
that, I was stone faced because the movie was either trying to be really funny or it was depressing as shit.
Yeah, and there was no middle ground. It was one or the other.
Yeah, I didn't like it. I thought the acting was okay. Like the little girl had moments where it was okay. Like when she was telling the story to her dad, it was good there, but like Ryan wasn't doing a great job. Even the voice acting felt kind of off to me in the movie.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
No.
Like Steve Carell for me seemed like he was kind of phoning it in a bit.
He was fun. I don't think he gave a shit about this movie.
I think he did. I think he just wanted to work with John again.
I agree. I don't
That
think he
could be
really
fair.
cared that much.
I will say some of the voice cast does seem like stunt casting, but like not too many of them. Like Phoebe Waller-Bridge fit. I thought Steve Carell did fine. Like it didn't for me. I didn't even realize it was him that was voicing Blue.
I didn't know until I was sat in that theater.
Yeah, kind of the same thing with me. I didn't even realize. Oh, sure, that's Steve Carell.
Like
Okay.
I kind of just felt like for me, it kind of felt like Steve Carell was just doing Mike Wazowski. Like
A little bit.
Yeah.
But
I
like
just sensed Mike Wazowski and Steve Carell. Like
a little bit. I will say too, like I said, like some of the voice cast seemed a little bit like stunt cast, but I will say, like it didn't particularly bother me. So most of the cast, other than Matt Damon, who I didn't even notice until like the cast list came up, and also George Clooney. I didn't even notice he was in the fucking movie.
I didn't even know
Clooney
George
was in
Clooney
it. Who
Yeah.
wasn't in this movie?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I have the tags on my Letterboxd review that I put like for all the actors and whatnot who was in the movie.
Pull up a
And
chart
let me-
of white
I
man
mean,
and
Aquafina's in
throw
it.
a dart, and I
There's that.
guarantee you they're in this movie.
White
What?
white celebrity. White celebrity.
Yeah, let's.
Oh my
I guess we'll make that
God.
move.
Okay. Aquafina was in there too.
I looked up the cast list before going in because I was like, I know there's a couple people in this. So I wonder who else. I saw Aquafina and I was like, that makes me not want to go watch this. I don't like
I don't
Aquafina.
hate Aquafina. She has
I
to
love
do
Aquafina.
something with her voice when voice acting, because she doesn't do anything. With
Her
it.
voice
She's-
is the
she's
only
stiff.
gimmick she has. Like, she was fine in Shang-Chi, but like in Kung Fu Panda, she was insufferable.
Yeah,
She's
she
like
was
Garfield's voice acting, with Chris Pratt's voice acting,
She doesn't
where
do
they
anything.
don't do anything to change their voice, and it's
Yeah.
just
The
them
joke-
talking.
The joke of Aquafina is Aquafina's voice, and that got old quick for me.
Mm-hmm.
That got old 2 movies deep for me. But I mean, for me at least, it was fine. I didn't really give a shit about it when the credits hit. I was like, whatever. I didn't think it was funny at all. I think the drama, the drama was good. I'll give it credit. I thought the cast was fairly good. I will say the girl, I forgot her name.
Kaylee Fleming.
Kaylee
Mhm.
Fleming. I thought she was good every time she wasn't talking to the little boy. I thought when she was talking to the little boy, their dynamic was off, and I felt like both of them were just reading lines in the very awkward and
It
like
kind of
not.
just seemed like she
well
was
way.
talking down to him the whole every time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's how it came off, and I didn't know why she was doing that because every other scene it was fine, but I don't have much to say about it. Whenever there's
Yeah.
a movie that I think is like just mediocre and mid, I don't have much to say about it. Same thing with Bob Marley One Love. Same thing here. It's a mid movie. I don't really have much to say about it.
Every
Yeah.
time the little boy was like, "Hi," I was like, "Oh fuck."
I was like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
I didn't mind the little kid. It was kind of cute. What they were trying to do? It's just like
I
yeah.
liked when they were trying to find him an imaginary friend, simply because
Yeah.
that was the like scene I really liked. Was like that whole bit because I was like, "This is funny." They're trying to matchmake with a little kid and a freaking purple monster guy.
I
And
wish
a
they
dog
did
with that-
more with the matchmaking because they really didn't do a lot with
I
it.
wish it was a matchmaking like comedy with CGI super funny looking creatures and kids who need an imaginary friend.
That would be
And
kind of funny.
instead of just bringing them back to like 3 of the characters being brought back to their old kids, and then it just being montaged for the rest of them. Like it
Yeah.
kind of ended. I was like, what was the point of that?
yeah.
I get it.
So do any of you guys have anything to add on or no?
Not really, no.
Not really.
Okay, real quick. Jason,
Hey,
what
Jason.
is up?
Hey,
dude?
what's up,
Nope.
Jason?
What is up? Just came to give some positive vibes, but since it's spoilers, I want to see these movies. I will skip this one, but have a great spoiler discussion. Thank you, dude. Dope.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jason.
Hell
Appreciate it, Jason.
Don't
Yeah,
body.
Jason. If you guys had the chance to be in a horror movie, would you be the protagonist or the antagonist? Because
Antagonist.
Antagonist.
All
I
the
think it'll
way.
be more fun.
Yep.
We sound
Not
sick.
saying-
We all sound
Hold on, let
sick
me
as fuck,
rephrase
by the
that.
way.
Wait, let me rephrase that. It's not that it'd be more fun to kill people. It's just it'll
Excuse me?
probably
But
be
like,
more
you
of
would
a
have fun doing it.
fun.
Like, you would have.
I don't know how to say it without sounding mental. You
We
know
all
what I
sound
mean?
mentally ill. Mike read half the question. We were like, let's be the serial killers.
Like I don't know. I think I'd rather be that, but also
Fast
like if
and
I was like the final person, okay, I'll be the final guy.
I'd be
final
the
boy.
best final girl you guys would ever fucking
But
see.
if I
Alright,
die,
well,
But if
yeah,
I die,
please,
no,
yeah,
I'd
please.
rather be the killer. I'd rather be the Jason Voorhees type.
Yeah. For
Or
sure.
no, I'd like being the Scream. I think being the Scream villain would be fun.
Being a ghost face would be so fun.
Being a Ghostface would be sick.
Yeah,
And we're
if
not
you
gonna
were the
kill
final
anybody, okay?
If
If you were the final
If I was
girl,
to be a
I'd be the
If I was to be a
stinky ass
horror villain,
boyfriend.
I'd be Jason. I mean, I have the mask. So
What's going on with the
I'd be Jason.
sexual tension between you two in the past couple of months? What
There's
are you
no
doing?
tension. It's just happens.
Yeah. I'm proposing to him if you guys ever come down from Michigan.
Oh yeah, we have to.
Okay, motherfucker.
Okay. Okay. Final scores. Out of 10, we're gonna do out of 5, but
You can
Yeah.
calculate it.
We can convert it.
go
Oh
through-
gosh.
Yeah.
Okay,
Anyways, yeah. Who wants to start?
I'll
Call
go.
dibs.
Or yeah,
Rock,
we'll go.
paper, scissors.
Go ahead,
Okay.
Logan.
No, you call
Okay.
dibs, dude. You said
Oh.
you said it.
Okay. 2 out of 5
Oh.
was not for me, which was disappointing because I thought it looked really good.
Initially, you give it a 4, and I was like, "That's a big jump."
Yeah, and then I just thought about it more, and I was like,
Totally fair.
It's a
enough.
big jump. Who wants to go next?
Gavin, you go ahead. We can just do the
Sure.
circle.
Yeah, I'll give it a 2.5 out of 5. It was mid. It was fine. Yeah, it's really it was a 3. It was a 3 out of 5. It was so weird. It was a 3 out of 5. It was a 1.5 out of 5. It was fluctuating so much while watching the movie. But overall, I was just like, it was a fine movie. It was a fine
positive.
experiment.
The effects were really good on the ifs.
Yeah, they looked pretty good. There were a
Yeah.
couple moments where the hand would be on like Blue's chest with the fur, and it looked a little dodgy. But at that point, I'm just nitpicking. It was the CGI looked very good.
Mm-hmm. All right, Luke.
Yeah, 2.5.
I mean, this is not going to come as a surprise to any of you, but I'm giving this one a 4.5 out of 5.
Nice.
Damn.
Nice.
Great.
I love this movie. I
Yeah,
do.
fantastic.
I gave it
Super.
a
I'm
2.
actually super happy you do because I just feel bad talk. I feel bad when I bad talk movies that you guys like because I'm like I feel like I'm just dogging on you guys.
Don't feel bad at all. man.
No.
Don't feel bad at all, man. I mean, if it's your opinion, then
It's
That's
film.
fine.
It's film discussion after all, dude.
Yeah.
So,
I gave it a 3.5 out of 5. It seems like our opinions are a little all over the place, but yeah.
Yeah. I hope that's
but
all
at
I'm
least
saying.
at least Mike and I are somewhat on the same side.
Yeah.
I mean,
I gotta say, when we get to the Madam Web watch along on my channel, I hope there's plenty of slander towards that movie.
I will not be there. I'm not watching that shit.
I
people
will
told me that's
for
really a
sure.
streaming movie.
Yeah,
No,
I'd
I
say
wouldn't.
it.
I would say if feels like a
If-
Paramount Plus original.
It feels like I agree.
Well,
it feels
okay,
like
that's a bit of a stretch there, buddy. I'm sorry.
it feels like it would be
Not
a movie
Paramount,
that would
no.
just drop on Paramount. People talk about it for a day, and then you'd move on to the next thing.
I
would
feel
agree.
like I would see
I
this
would
in the
agree.
search menu next to the Thunderman's Return.
Yeah, I agree. I think it
That's a
would seem
stretch there, buddy.
it seems one of like those hidden gems that you would find on streaming. Just I agree. I think it feels like a Paramount Plus movie.
It doesn't
Which-
feel like a
That's
Paramount
not a
Plus
bad
movie.
thing.
Paramount
not an
Plus,
inherent
Paramount
bad
Plus has bad quality movies.
It just
so
feels
I-
like a movie that would go to streaming, and it's a
Yeah.
Paramount movie, so Paramount Plus. But yeah,
Yeah.
it feels like it would be one of those that would be like, not a lot of people watched it on streaming. The people that did enjoyed it, and it just seems like one of those movies, which is an inherent bad thing. But yeah, I'd say if I would to recommend it, I would say just wait for streaming for if.
I would tell people to go if they really want to see it, but they're like, "Hey, you didn't like it." I would say go watch it because I want people to form their own opinions.
Mhm.
And
I mean,
it's an
I'd re-
original movie. Go support original movies. I know it sounds weird. Everything in my room is goddamn Marvel, but go watch original movies.
Mhm. Yep.
Yeah, I'd say wait. I wouldn't say don't go to the theater and watch it if you're curious, but like if it was like someone that was like on the fence about it, I'd say just wait.
If you're
Nothing wrong with
iffy on it, go just wait.
God damn it.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
say I would say go to the theater. 'Cause
I'd give it a rent it.
Yeah, I'd say rent it, like at $6 or something. Yeah, go ahead.
That's fair.
I'd say see it in theaters.
Say
You're not
what
losing
you-
anything there. That's just...
Yeah. My friend told me Chippendale Rescue Rangers deserve to be in the theater more.
Hell no.
Okay, Chip and Dale is a streaming movie, through and through.
I will say there's
I
moments
don't
like
hate
Ugly Sonic that I would have fucking died seeing that
I
on
liked-
the big screen,
Yeah,
but it feels like a streaming movie.
I like Chip and Dale. I liked it.
I love
Yeah.
Chip and Dale Rescue
That's a
Rangers.
great
I
movie.
love it.
It
so
does
much.
feel like a streaming movie, and I don't know. I feel like it makes more sense for theatrical release.
I didn't
because
love
how
Chip
many
and
people
Dale,
would
but,
show up for
like-
Chip and Dale in theaters. I just don't think that's
That's true.
it probably going to do great.
I thought Chip and Dale was mid, but I laughed my ass off the whole time.
Yeah, I liked it. I liked the concept of it.
The whole bootleg subplot or main plot where they're like trying to find bootleg shit was
Mhm.
That
sent
was
me.
pretty cool.
I was like, goddamn Disney.
I didn't mind
Yeah.
it. I liked it.
I love it.
Alrighty, so it's a little late, but yeah, we're getting out of here. We got Cam, check him out. Cam Cross Comics. Gavin, check him out. Gavin Cross Reviews now, right? Not mainstreamers.
Yeah, mainstreamers is just gonna be for the podcast. It was weird fully rebranding everything, so I was like, I'll just switch that. But yeah, Gavin Crush Reviews.
Yeah, okay. And then Luke, of course, Luke Ponto on his YouTube channel, and go check him out wherever.
W Ponto.
Yes, W Dope Ponto.
If you like
Yeah.
Jason Statham, there's a shitload over there. So
Mm-hmm.
there you go.
Well, there's also going to be this week. So.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Watch the
Mon-
Crank watch-alongs. They're
They're
fucking
the
hilarious.
I've been meaning to ask
Those are the
when's Transporter 2? When is that one happening?
Transporter 1's tomorrow, and then Transporter 2's Wednesday.
Okay, I was gonna say because if it's Thursday, might not happen because that's when I'm planning on seeing like Furiosa with my mom, which is.
But Wednesday should work.
I plan to go to the theater. I plan to go to the theater on Thursday and Friday.
What? Teddy Mike and the Wonder Twins.
Because I mean,
You might get the
because I'm
one.
planning to see because I'm planning to see both Garfield and Furiosa.
I'm seeing Garfield Sunday is the plan, but I was like, I talked to my mom. I was like, hey, do you want to go see Furiosa with me? And she was like, what is that? And I was like, oh, let me show you the trailer. And I watched the trailer, and she was like, God damn, that looks good. So.
On Monday, for Memorial Day, I have a goddamn band parade. Jesus. And then followed... Yeah, I have a goddamn band parade, followed by a 45-minute concert. Then we walk over to take a picture in front of a fucking boat.
Okay, yeah, no.
I'm like, can I just do the parade and, like, go home and, like, sleep for 3 hours?
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Real quick, Jason has if someone were to do a movie about you, which actor would you have portray you?
I know this. Is this bad that I know this?
I know it. Ryan Gosling, because he's literally me. Easy. There we go.
Ryan Gosling. Well, Ryan Gosling can disguise himself as anyone because he's the fall guy. So yeah.
Exactly.
In actuality, I would say Ryan Gosling, just because I love that guy so fucking much.
Fair enough.
Okay.
There we go.
I can't say no because
Paul
I really
Rudd.
can't.
I'd say him, or honestly, maybe even Josh Hutcherson. I feel like he could do it. I don't know.
Now, Luke, you are being played by Jason Statham.
You are being played by Jason Statham. We're gonna put him in some hair, and there you go.
You're gonna put him in a fat suit.
No.
You're gonna put him in a fat suit.
Yeah, put him on some stilts too.
I'm going with Hugh Jackman because then I'll be seen as ripped.
Okay, we got it.
Hey Camden, I mean this in the nicest way possible. The only six-pack you have is the Coke in the fridge.
God damn!
And I mean
Yeah,
that
the only
nicely.
six-pack you have is those fucking chins. I don't want to hear it.
I mean that in the nicest way possible. Look in the fridge. How much Coke is in there? Probably a lot.
None. I drank it all.
Yeah, exactly.
Ed Sheeran, no, do not compare
No.
Fuck.
man, to my Lukey Poncho. They have a little, and he's fucking British. Damn, yeah. Who would be?
I think this is the hardest we've ever laughed
Hold
on
on.
stream.
Sydney
on.
Sweeney will be Mike, I think.
No, hear me out. Hear me out. I actually have it. I have it. Chris Pratt.
No.
Actually, no. I kind of see it though. Like in full
I do
honesty,
see it
actually.
actually.
I actually
Oh.
can see it.
You know what? I'm thinking Vin Diesel.
Being fat.
Morgan
Wait.
Freeman.
No, I fucking have it. I fucking have it. Seth Rogen. Hear me out.
No, I actually don't hate it.
Seth Rogen would be me, dude. Seth Rogen would be me, except I'm not a weed smoker.
See? Boom.
Except I do the laugh better.
Mike's got it, frankly. I'm getting flashbacks to Mario. Let's start.
I could try the laugh, but I'd sound like a smoker who's on their
Oh,
deathbed.
okay. Speaking of Seth Rogen, though, there was
Actually, really quick. Actually, hold on, Cam. Like, I know you don't want to do it, man. Just do it once.
I don't know if I can.
Just once. Come on, just once.
No, see, it doesn't work.
All right,
That should have been
your
locked
turn.
away.
Your turn.
I can do a little girl laugh. That's like fucking creepy. Mike knows it. I do it when we play Fort.
Ooh, I actually like what Jason said about it. I actually don't hate
Adam
that.
Sandler. No, he's just gonna be.
Well, no, here's the
He's gonna
thing.
be in
In
full
all
Jack
the
and Jill
movies, no, I will take Adam Sandler in all the movies. He pulls bad bitches.
Wait. Kevin James. What?
I'll take it. I want to be Paul Blart.
Wait, no. In all actuality,
I'll be the president from Pixels.
Wait, I'm being fully honest here. I feel like Kevin could probably play Luke though. I like in a lot of his filmography. I could see it.
Okay.
I was doing the meme.
Lucas
I
I
Till.
was doing the meme from King of Queens.
Do it.
Yup, boom, see it.
There it is.
Yup. No.
What the fuck?
You know, speaking of that, you want to play Ford after this?
I can't because I got fucking school in the morning, and it's almost 11:30. But soon, Pookie.
Okay.
Tommy.
I got school in the morning too, but it's only 10.
I got
so-
work in the morning.
Yeah, but like we have a different time zone, Pookie
Yeah.
Bear.
Yeah, I know Pookie Wookie. We'll come down to Indiana at some point, though, Pookie Wookie, and we can play Fortnite in the same room and the same time zone.
That would be fucking great.
How the fuck am I being third wheeled by Camden again?
No, you're not being third
No,
wheel.
Gavin, you can be my Pookie.
I'm just gonna,
Okay,
Gavin,
okay.
Gavin, I'm just gonna throw on. I'm just gonna
Gavin's my
throw on
Pookie
the
now.
TV like fucking Challengers and Dune Part 2, and like, hey, have at it.
Hey, Mike. Surf like me if you fucked her. You motherfucker!
I actually play tennis. That's probably gonna start doing that. Not for that reason, but I'm probably just gonna start doing that now just because.
We all know
Challenger
Gravy
sucks.
Train down there does not fuck bitches.
Okay.
Okay. Call it there, dude. Call
Nah,
it there.
he's coming in with the gravy train on Zendaya.
It's okay,
Alright.
Pookie. It's okay. Okay,
See
Pookie.
See you, Jason.
See you,
See you,
Jason.
Jason.
After this week, I'll finally be free from my exams and finally on vacation. Let's go.
Let's fucking go.
Finally get you back on, dude.
Hell yeah, dude. All right, everybody, take care. Peace out.
Konnichiwa.